I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves. And the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them sponsor my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies. You can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies, and one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. Okay, welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Got a very, very, very special guest. We've been talking about doing this for a while now, maybe like a year or so, maybe even longer than that. Yeah. But Mr. Shane West, thank you for being here.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm glad we finally made it happen.
Me too. Mr. West is in the building. I'm sure you heard that before.
Yeah.
So my family and I have been watching movies for the past couple nights. We watched the newest one, Last Night on Earth, which is pretty recent, right? 2023
yeah,
or 4?
2022.
No dates for you. Not talking dates.
Yeah. Well, I better get that one because that was only a couple years ago. Yeah.
You're such a good bad guy. That was a really kind of twisted movie. That was an awesome movie, man. Yeah.
Thank you, man. That was one
dark.
That purposefully wanted to do something outside of the box.
Yeah. And then we watched What We Do Is Secret, which is the Germs movie. You played Darby Crash.
That's right.
Which was phenomenal, dude.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, my wife had seen it before. I hadn't seen it yet, but it was just
cool.
Such a crazy. I mean, I know the Germs, but I feel like I didn't know them enough until after that movie. I don't know. I learned more about the Germs in a sense. Yeah. Like I heard all those songs before. I don't.
Right.
My wife loves the Germs, but like just seeing that, just like it was such a short. Seemed like such a short time as a band. Everything
Very
happened
short.
so fast.
And they could
really
barely play some shows. Yeah,
I know.
They got themselves
They were too
out of almost every venue. Yes, exactly. And it was like art punk too. You know,
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were doing half the time.
I know. And it's crazy like when he went away and he came back and he has like the mohawk and just all that shit, like a different.
Yeah. Now I think that was his whole. He was trying to reinvent himself, and he refused to have Pat in the band, and he wanted a new band, and it did not work.
It's crazy. That's Pat Smear too, man.
Yeah, man.
So did you meet with them? You meet with Pat and people from that time for
the role? Oh yeah.
And were you a fan of the Germs before that?
I was not.
Okay.
I mean, like, to be perfectly honest, I knew of the Germs.
Yeah.
I knew of Darby Crash and obviously Pat Smear. And I think I probably had heard the track Lexicon Devil a few times.
Yeah, I think I know that one too.
You know, but it wasn't like my scene. So sort of like growing up for me, what my parents were listening to was the kind of the Brit punk movement and the New York CBGB scene. So we weren't really listening to the West Coast. I had to figure that out on my own.
Yeah.
And then my own age, at me being 46 now, so I was in high school in the 90s. And so the whole, you know, as you know, the pop punk movement starting and all that, was my kind of like, okay, now I'm 16 and I'm listening to these bands.
Green Day and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I always say, Green Day helped me pick up a guitar.
It's awesome.
Because they made it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I just didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
Just being able to see something, you know, 3 chords. I was like, okay, I think I can do this.
Totally.
So so for me with the Germs, that was a learning experience in more ways than one.
Was there a lot of information out there about them? Were there documentaries about them?
Well, you got The Decline of Western Civilization.
True. Legendary.
That was my
That's a good point.
Go-to for visuals. Because there was hardly any visuals. There was they weren't recording. They had camcorders. They just weren't. Maybe they couldn't afford it. I don't know. I know my parents couldn't afford one.
Yeah.
There's one video I think I remember of them playing at the Starwood before it closed down. And it's a terrible video.
Damn.
It's just right down the middle of the stage. And Darby never stands straight or he keeps moving like a shark.
Yeah.
So it was just basically Don Bowles on the drum. Just in the background, and then just Darby talking to other people off to the side, and just Pat off to the side playing the guitar. It was kind of wild. So I had to use a lot of imagination, but also just reading as much as I could.
Yeah. How old was you when he passed?
Wasn't it 20? Oh God,
super young.
I'm getting
man.
at 22.
It's crazy, and the band seemed like they weren't even around for like a couple years, barely. It's wild, man.
Yep, it was a brightly lit fuse that just exploded. Well, you get that whole James Dean kind of feel where you have like the one album, you know, and then you pass away, and the album was brilliant. So it's like, okay, well, we never had the chance to become maybe not so brilliant, or like we never had the chance to truly fail. Here's our stuff. You like it or you don't, and goodbye.
Yeah.
You know,
how many members were alive? I know Pat Smear, obviously, but were alive to see that movie, or you have to talk to them?
Oh no, they were around.
They were all around then.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not Darby, but Pat, Lorna, and Don were around. And they were our look when I got onto that film the first time, because we lost our financing. We had to start completely over.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was wild, with a whole different cast, by the way.
Wow.
All these random stories that I actually haven't told.
Holy shit.
But yeah, it was wild. But what was kind of cool was Pat was on board. Pat and Don were on board to teach us how to play the songs and how to learn the songs. So we were learning the songs for months before we even shot the movie.
Okay.
Then we lost financing. So what they did is Pat felt bad. So we went to the Dragonfly and we did a rap party for the movie, even though we hadn't shot the movie. And the actors played 4 or 5 songs that we knew for the audience. And so many people, Davey Havoc was there. Fat Mike was there.
Oh, shit.
So many people came down to kind of, watch this. And then the surprise was Pat got the original Germs back together. And then I sang with him for 4 more songs. Because for me, all I had to do was learn the lyrics.
Holy shit.
And we surprised the audience and they loved it. And it was...
how was that, man? That's incredible.
Oh, I was thoroughly intimidated.
I couldn't imagine doing that.
And we still hadn't done the movie. I had the tattoo. I had fully committed. And the movie still had been maybe 20% of it had been filmed. So it was...
That must have been nerve-wracking, like everybody in the audience, and then you with the actual original band, and it's like...
Oh my God, yeah. But shit. Also not as, it was performance art in that sense. It was a rap party, so why not? Now, if it was going to become a reality, which it did later, that was a little bit more intimidation, okay, well now you're under the spotlight, now people are going to hate you, now people might like you, mostly going to hate you, that kind of stuff, and how thick is your skin? Basically. Yeah,
that's crazy. So how soon, you started playing shows with them before the movie comes out?
Yeah, we did.
And they just said, what, please join the band?
Well, the weirdest, so
it was the original lineup, was it?
It was the original lineup.
With Pat Smear?
Yeah, with me. Yeah, we wouldn't have done it without him.
I was going to say that, yeah, that's kind of, and Pat was a busy man too, yeah.
Yeah, and, but he wasn't in Foo Fighters anymore at that time. Oh. So he basically... What happened is after the rap party performance, we were asked to join the this punk rock lineup that was going to play the Olympic Auditorium, headlined by Suicidal Tendencies.
Sick.
It was Flipper, Fear,
classics.
I think it was Marky Ramone. I bet you I'm missing some bands, but I'd like to say the Adolescents, but
that makes sense.
We played with them so many times now. Yeah. I don't know.
Great band,
but they're great, and Tony's phenomenal. But I started laughing because I was like, well, we're not a band. Why are you asking us to do this? You just heard about a rap party. And so the band loved the idea, so we did it. And I think they threw me out there to the wolves to see how I would survive and how I'd handle it. And then after that, they were like, let's just keep doing this. And then it was like wild. All of a sudden it was Warped Tour and it was an LA show. We did 2 Warped Tours and it was like...
And the response was...
It kept getting better and better. But I had to go through it. The first American tour that we did, the first States tour, was brutal. I mean, for me, for the band, everybody. It was hilarious to...
You guys in a van?
We were in a van, yeah.
Grinding.
We got a tour. We were in a van and then we had a friend let us use his tour bus.
That's nice.
A beat up tour bus.
Sure.
But it was great. And a Warped Tour, we had a tour bus.
Of course.
Same one. But the first, maybe we had a tour bus the first tour. I just know.
Warped Tour, you need a bus, man. It's a brutal routing, dude.
Yeah, I bet.
It's brutal,
have you ever done I have to say, have you ever done the whole thing?
Yes.
You did? Okay. Because I know it gets period, you can take pockets and stuff.
Yeah, we split a bus with 7 Seconds one year. It was incredible.
Oh my God.
That was like a dream, dude.
What, one time?
I think we did it again after that with somebody else, but we were doing trailers, we were doing Winnebagos, we were doing vans, we were doing, dude, it's fucking brutal. Because you don't know what time you play to the next morning.
That's right. I was not getting used to that. I was about to say I was getting used to that, but I did not get used to that.
But I love there's no favoritism. It doesn't matter how big your band is. For the listeners,
Absolutely.
The Warped Tour, you don't know what time you play. It's like 10, 11 in the morning. You check I don't know what time you're going to play. It's crazy, man.
I remember we did Phoenix and we got the 11:30 slot. I think 11's the earliest. We went to go watch Helmet play.
Sick.
Obviously amazing, but there was hardly anyone there because they got the 10:30 slot or whatever it was. Dude. And it was 110 degrees. And I remember Pat coming out because, we're having fun and getting the music out to the people who haven't been able to see it.
Yeah.
To the older guys that want to see it again. But Pat, he was like, all right, let's play this show and get the hell out of here. It's 110 degrees. It's 11:30. This is ridiculous.
That's cool. He did it after coming from like the Foo Fighters. He probably fly to all the shows. Just everything. His whole life is so different. And coming back into the van.
I think he enjoyed it for a while because, look, I mean, if you think Pat's career is just insane.
It's insane, dude.
But, you know, Kurt Cobain finds him and asks him to join Nirvana.
Dude.
So he goes from not even a 15-passenger van when the Germs never played out of Southern California. So he went from maybe, I don't know, taxis, rides, walking, whatever, to playing his shows to in utero Nirvana.
Yeah.
So tour buses. To the Foo Fighters tour buses, like so he was to arenas,
dude.
Yeah. So he has
pretty
had
amazing.
a hell of a career,
and that kid did really good in the movie. You played him. I thought it was awesome.
Rick Gonzalez is great.
Yeah, I recognize that guy. Yeah, he was great.
All of them. Yeah, Rick, Bijou Phillips is Lorna.
Oh, that's right. That's who it was.
Yeah, with her musical background as well. And look, we all played it. They played the instruments. It was pretty cool. I think it's one of the few movies out there where. Yes, a part of that soundtrack is original Germs, but some of that soundtrack is us actually playing it.
It's cool.
Which is pretty cool.
And then Matt from the Bronx, we have to give him props. He was in there too.
Absolutely.
Doing Black Flag songs. That was crazy. Was like, Matt from the Bronx?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That was so, I wonder how that even happened. He probably maybe auditioned or something. Who knows?
I think back then what was really cool about the movie was everyone was interested.
Yeah.
We weren't doing this for money.
Yeah.
In fact, I think some people did this for literally no money.
Damn.
And you know, anytime we needed a favor, it happened. And by the way, one of the coolest things too, while we're on that, the soundtrack, we got a David Bowie song in that movie.
Oh,
I think we got 2.
Wow.
Yeah, we got 2. And
because he wanted David Bowie to produce the record too. That's right.
And because he remembered Darby. And because he remembered Pat.
Oh my
and because
God.
this was going through Rhino and their company.
Yeah.
That we actually got it for free.
Wow.
We got 2 David Bowie songs.
I know. That's incredible.
I'll never forget that.
Damn, Darby would have been so excited, like knowing that, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was just so cocky and funny. He's like, I want him to produce the record or him, and that's it. And fucking just
yeah. I mean, look, he was able to. He was able to put together a family. He didn't have a good family, so he was able to bring that, you know, create his own. And whether it was obnoxious or not, or chaotic or not, it worked for him.
Yeah. But did you like performing and traveling and being in the band?
Oh, man, absolutely. Because, so my parents are musicians, and they were in bands when I was growing up in Louisiana. And I literally lived as an 18-year-old in a garage and had my own garage band. Like the drum kit was in the garage. It's where we practiced. And it was something I thought I was always going to do. But I really loved acting as well. And acting just happened to take off quicker. Mm-hmm. So the Germs gave me an outlet in so many different ways, but it also gave me an outlet into some of my favorite music.
Yeah.
But then I got to go on a tour bus, tour around, go to all these different cities and meet a lot of people that I looked up to.
Yeah.
You know,
that's cool.
And that was kind of fantastic. We were in New York. Joan Jett was backstage. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Dude, this
crazy.
Is
super fucking cool.
That's going getting love from those legends and
absolutely.
Stuff. Coming out and
and then having them to come check it out, you know, it was just really kind of cool. It was, you know, kind of living that, it's not rock star, but living that rock fantasy that I might not have been able to get.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know if my band was going to take off, you know.
What did you do in your first one? Were you singing or playing?
So I sing and play rhythm guitar.
Okay.
And definitely rhythm guitar.
Okay.
I can't pull out any leads. But that's the same thing, influenced by the Ramones and my Green Day. It was like, how fast can I do power chords?
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it as fast as Black Flag, but you know, just learning how to be able to do that. And we had a small band in the garage called Average Joe. And then we changed it to, we couldn't copyright that. So when I got the song on the Walk to Remember soundtrack, we had to change our names. So then I had a song called Johnny Was. So we just changed our band to Johnny Was. And then the Germs happened after that.
Perfect, dude.
Yeah.
Remember Ugly Kid Joe?
Of course. Dude. I mean,
he went and sang for somebody else too.
Did he?
Yeah, he was filled in for somebody. Oh my God, I got to freaking fact check this.
You want an interesting potential fact check too?
Yeah.
He was a possibility to replace Axl Rose in Guns N' Roses at one point.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's
they
what
were
I'm thinking
about that, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, he was a good singer though, man.
He was a good singer. Yeah, that band was fun.
Yeah,
and that's a hell of a song.
Yeah,
my friend actually directed the video of that.
Really?
Yeah. Hate Everything About You.
That was the song. Wow, man. Mm-hmm. So Baton Rouge, growing up there, you have 2 sisters?
I do. One I grew up with for my mom and my dad, and half sister with my dad and stepmom.
And you love it there? You love growing up there?
I did. I mean, we left when I was about 11 years old, and my mom was just, she was a bit more liberal, and she wanted to, she loves the beach, and she loves the oceans and the mountains, and we didn't have that in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
So she wanted to try different things and change up her life. So she took us out here, but I didn't get into music, or at least playing it, or even thinking about acting until like high school. So it was more of a change of lifestyle. And her band wasn't going to go anywhere at that point. My dad's band wasn't really going there at that point. So she wanted to change it up.
Yeah. And so you two came out here?
Yeah. Well, my mom, my first stepdad, and my sister.
Okay.
And straight to Norwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Santa Fe Springs.
Also, it says Compton online, which is...
Yep. That was a couple years later.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's such a crazy, different culture coming from Louisiana to Los Angeles. It must be so different, dude.
Because as I'm moving, I'm going through a bunch of stuff, and I saw my, fifth? Yeah, it was my 5th grade class picture, my first one in California in Norwalk, and I do not fit. It's like Payless shoes, ripped jeans, a literal T-shirt that said Baton Rouge Water Company. I don't know what my mom, and just I look pissed, and I don't look, and everyone else is skateboard, TNC surf, bright colors, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how to do this. Please let me fit in.
Did you get into skating or surfing out here?
I never did.
Really? Wow.
I never did. So I love sports. I never played football, but I love watching it. But I play soccer, baseball, basketball, tennis, even volleyball in high school. But I remember a friend of mine, we didn't have any skaters growing up in Baton Rouge, at least when I was around.
Yeah.
And I was in some interesting areas where it could have even been. Even in the music scene, I didn't really see it as much. Mm-hmm. And in California, it was, in the beginning, I guess it was around, but they weren't really my friends. Yeah. So later in life, when a friend of mine was like, learn this, here's one, let's go. I kept falling. And after about maybe 2 to 3 hours of me never getting it, I was like, fuck this. And I went to play baseball. I was like, I'll do that. I was done. I never tried after that.
Damn.
I know.
So you're doing sports out here?
I did until college. Yeah.
Damn. And how were you like in school and high school and stuff like that? Were you the cool guy? Did you have a lot of friends? Were you kind of quiet?
Man, all of the above? No. No, I
You're a good student?
I was a good student. About 3.4, I'd say. But great. I could not do math.
I hate math.
Math and science screwed me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I couldn't get a 4.0. I didn't try in history and English. I just did well. Mm-hmm. So it kind of balanced it out. But and then I was always just constantly watching movies, constantly listening to music. And that kind of isolated me in a way because I was alone a lot of the times when I did that.
Yeah.
But
kind of keeps you out of trouble. Yeah,
but we moved so much. So I didn't get into any sort of popular clique until like junior year of high school in LA.
Okay.
Because at that point we had committed, and I had been in this high school for since it's weird, like 8th grade, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. It went from 5th to 12th.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then I started knowing people. It's like, okay, now you're getting to know people. But at that point, then I didn't care. So then my senior year, I went back on my own. And I was like, I'm listening to this. I can play the guitar, not really, but I can do all this, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to be an actor and all that stuff.
So that's what you wanted to do. You figured that's what kind of your goals were.
Yeah.
In high school.
Yeah, it was acting, or bust, music or bust.
Yeah.
Maybe psychology. Like if I needed a quote unquote real job or a regular job, I was interested in that.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Was your mom strict about school and grades and stuff like that? Or?
She was strict about school and grades, but also very relaxed. Like anything we wanted to do, that's why my mom's the best. She really is. Anything we wanted to do, if it made us happy, that's all it got. That's all that mattered for her.
Super supportive.
Oh yeah.
Were you partying and stuff like that then?
Not in high school. No.
You're a good kid.
My mom, she had this way of, I think that single parent, And also kind of feeling like, man, we traveled the world. I mean, not literally, but we traveled the States. And it was, you know, I don't even know how to, I've said it before in the sense of like, there was something about her, like if she could give you a look, kind of like my grandfather, she could give you a look of disapproval. Yeah. And if you just got the look, it killed you. It like destroyed you inside.
My mom would do that too.
Does she? Okay. It was very
disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed. That quote. Yeah, it's fantastic. And it's true. I remember like, I mean, you couldn't do that now, especially in 2024. But I remember if I complained as a kid in a grocery store about getting a toy or something, she would just like calmly bend down and go, I will smack you in front of everyone here. And then you're just like, oh, and she never did, but she would just do it. It was enough to say it. And it just worked. Yeah. Damn. So I was like, nah, no drugs. No, I was like, I think I definitely had some beers in high school, but I don't really recall them. I'm sure some Boone's Farm.
What about ladies we dating in school and stuff like that?
I wasn't dating, no.
Damn.
My first girlfriend was right after high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you just like focused on music and acting.
Yeah, and then, I mean, look, I wanted all those things. It just didn't happen. Yeah. And I didn't have a car.
Okay.
I didn't start driving until I was 18.
Okay, yeah.
So I kind of, maybe I could have gone that route. But I mean, look, I had a lot of fun post-high school and in all of my 20s, my God. And then a part of this Germ stuff was in my 20s too.
Sure, that's crazy,
I had 2 different bands, the Germs, another band after, you know, so and then acting and all that kind of stuff. And being young and dumb and full of, you know.
Yeah. So you start taking acting classes and stuff like that when you graduate?
Weirdly, I mean, I guess I took some classes, but not a lot of them. My first manager, he ran classes out of his house in Toluca Lake, and it really was to help all of us get the words off the page.
Okay,
because that's a big thing. People don't think about that. Can you even read? You know, can you read what you're about to say? Can you?
It's true.
And can you convey that?
Memorize it, everything. Yeah,
memorize and all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of those classes were just fun. It was more of like, don't be wooden. Learn how to relax your shoulders. Learn how to body position, almost like theater. Like how do you angle your body? All those little things, which a lot of times you just learn with getting an actual job that will help. But I didn't really go through techniques.
Okay.
No Meisner, no nothing like that.
Oh, okay. Improv classes, stuff like that?
Not really that. I hate improv. Okay. I've never been a big fan of improv. I'm outing myself with that. But like,
my son's doing that too now. He's trying to do it. Yeah.
It's you better give me a true, like I want an improv like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh shit.
Like give me a script, because they have a script. I mean, they might throw it out the window, but there's a point, there's a way, there's going to be certain lines delivered. That's
for sure.
That. Yeah. But when they just go, hey, you're ticked. She stole your wallet. You need to get it back. Go for it. I'm like, no, I hate that stuff. It drives me crazy. I'm like, give me a script so I can really work with this.
So you just start auditioning for things?
I did. I thought it was going to be easy, man. It was a weird thing. I was in high school, junior year, basically started junior year.
Yeah.
And I got an agent immediately. I got a manager immediately. I got an agent immediately. Call back on my first commercial, which was a Corn Pops commercial.
Sick.
Immediately. And then I didn't work for 2 years. And then after that, I was like, okay, It's not easy.
So you got the commercial though?
No, I didn't.
Oh, damn.
That was it was a real quick.
That was quick reality.
Welcome to hell, basically.
Damn.
And it hit me over the head of like, you're going to not do this or you're going to have to commit.
Yeah.
And it made me not, in the beginning, you're like, oh, maybe I'll meet some girls and the glitz and the glamour and all that. I'm not going to lie. When people say, they're like, no, it's about the art. No, not at that time.
Yeah.
I was freaking 17. I was like, this is exciting.
Yeah.
But when I was told no a million times, then I was like, all right, I'm pissed. I need to focus. I'm not going to let them say this. I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just commit and take it seriously. Take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. So it took 2 years for the next kind of thing?
For any gig. Wow. I auditioned every day. Multiple times a day.
Are you living at home still at that point?
No, I'm living in, so I lived in my first manager's house for free, which was nice. Then I lived in my second manager's house for free in the garage that I was talking about earlier.
Jeez.
And I lucked out for a couple of years. 18 to 19, basically 17 to 19. I had, any money that I made was for CDs, T-shirts, fast food.
Yeah.
Lived on McDonald's, lived on Taco Bell.
Damn.
And didn't have any bills.
No bills.
And I had a car then. I was able to get that car.
Yeah.
And so it went to that and music.
Are you going to shows too at that point?
I'm going to shows.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tons of shows.
Because what year would that have been? Is it
we're talking 96 is when I graduated.
Yeah.
My first ever show was Lollapalooza, actually.
Really?
I went from nothing, or I guess my parents' bands when I was like 2. But I went from nothing to, I believe it was 95, and it was Green Day headlining and Smashing Pumpkins closing.
Dude.
And that was my first ever show. It was a little bit senses overload.
That's huge, dude.
I was exhausted, but
that's a great first show.
But it was a great first show.
And you loved Green Day then too, yeah. Damn.
I did, yeah.
That's crazy.
That was as Dookie was blowing up.
Dude.
And Smashing Pumpkins it was melancholy.
Great. Love Smashing Pumpkins.
Good
man.
time.
That's cool. Those two just toured together again this past year.
Yeah,
with
that's
Rancid.
right.
That
I
was
didn't even
awesome.
Oh, that's right. And Rancid was involved too.
Dude.
They played in Nashville, but I missed it.
Yeah, that's a great first show.
Yes.
And then from that, you started going to more shows and stuff like just
as many as I could. I did a lot of Weezer.
Cool.
Really liked Weezer, and we're talking Blue Album.
Yeah.
I think Pinkerton had just come out, and they would tour around as Goat Punishment. I'm pretty positive, which was their secret show.
Oh,
like they wouldn't advertise. They would advertise as, by the way, no cell phones really. So I'm like, how did we know about this stuff back
I know
then?
it's just word of mouth.
Just word of mouth.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of Goat Punishment shows. And you just walk in and you go, please God, let this be the right band. Dude, you're like, maybe this was a lie.
Dude, I didn't realize that the GI was Germs Incognito. I didn't realize that. I always saw the GI on the shirts. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's the only way they could play a show.
It's crazy, bro.
They had been banned so many places. Yeah.
That's because they've been banned, but these guys are doing it because they're huge.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, of course. And probably totally surprised.
I saw Beastie Boys a couple of times under this name called Quasar.
That's awesome.
I'm sick of it all, and there's other crazy bands in New York, man. It's pretty awesome.
What was your favorite, your first show? Do you remember?
My first show was, you probably didn't heard of these bands. It was Dickie Barrett's first hardcore band from the Boston. It's called Impact Unit.
Okay. With
Proletariat, Outer Ridge, Verbal Assault, Vicious Circle, at the Living Room in Providence in 1983.
Fucking A.
I was 13, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
I still get the flyer, too.
Do you really? Is it in? Is it? Oh.
It's in my photo album.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you could frame that.
I have a whole closet of that shit.
Okay. I bet.
But yeah, Dickie said this band played like 5 of those shows. I saw one of them, so.
Wow.
Pretty crazy,
bro.
Oh
my God, really? Okay.
But yeah, for me, it was like skateboarding and punk rock came together for me as a young kid, It's a soundtrack.
Yeah, of course.
So,
and you're East Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Damn, dude. All right, so now you're out there.
Sorry, I was turning it up. I was now interviewing
you.
No,
I love that. So now you're not really working. You're living with managers. You're just like hustling, just trying to get one.
Yeah, actually, theater is the irony of it all. And I'm not a theater guy. Mm-hmm. In fact, my mom almost moved us to New York. It was in New York or LA. Okay. If I had gone to New York, I'd be doing music strictly.
Oh, totally.
Because theater scares the shit out of me, and there's no way I would. And I'm not into musicals, and that's not. That wasn't just me. So I would not have probably tried to act. It was LA that made that happen.
Gotcha.
So, but I wasn't working. So I got an audition for a play, and it was called The Cider House Rules, which they made, big book, which they made into a movie.
Right. That's right.
And I wanted to do it because Tom Hulce was directing it. And one of my favorite movies is Amadeus. And Tom Hulce played Mozart and was brilliant. And I just wanted to meet him and convince him that I could do this as a 19-year-old who's had no theater experience. And it was at the Mark Taper Forum in downtown LA, which is a big theater. And they eventually hired me.
Holy shit.
Because my character was so innocent and naive and didn't know what to do in reality in the story.
Totally.
And that was me also.
Yeah.
So they just took a chance with me, and I did that for like 4 or 5 months downtown LA, 19 years old, and that was my acting class as well.
It's incredible.
It helped me out, and a lot of Hollywood agents and all that kind of stuff came to see the premiere, and I got a bigger agent that way. And strangely, doing the Cider House Rules is what on stage in downtown LA is what actually started helping my TV and movie career.
That's amazing. So so people saw you in real life performing and checking you out,
and it just kind of moved me forward, thankfully.
Yeah.
What ended up happening is I booked a small role in this Barry Levinson's movie Liberty Heights, which was a fun film with my good friend at the time, Ben Foster. And so that was exciting because we were working together.
Yep.
And while I was there, I booked.
Is Ben Foster from 6 Feet Under?
I believe he did.
Is he play
something?
He plays crazy, scary.
I never really watched 6 Feet Under, but I'm pretty positive you're right.
He has a shaved head sometimes. He's like scary.
Oh man. I mean, I know a lot of other things he did,
but I know the name. It names him so.
Well, he's done. He's done so much. You ever see Hell and High Water?
Yes.
More recently, that's him.
Yeah,
him and Chris Pine.
That's the same dude. Yeah. He plays some scary ass dudes, man.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's incredible.
And he's
that's
incredible.
cool you mentioned him. Yeah.
He's great. And we did a film together actually a couple years later, teen film called Get Over It. But we did a Liberty Heights, and while I was there, I had done a pilot for a TV show called Once and Again, and it got picked up.
Yep.
And suddenly I got to do a TV series for 3 years. And after that, I've been very fortunate and just started working ever since.
Yeah, because ER was after that.
Yes. I was more of an adult, a young adult, but I was a kid on Once and Again.
Yeah, that was like 99, 2002 or something.
Yep. I'm going to take your word for that.
Damn, and then you left ER for Supreme Courtships or something?
Oh, no, I mean.
But that never happened, did it?
No, that was more of that's funny. My God, I forgot about that.
Is this true? It
is
true on the interwebs?
True-ish. It's true-ish. That's what I always like to say. Wait, it's on the interweb? It's true-ish.
Internet
Wikipedia
sucks.
Is true-ish. Yeah. My contract was up on ER, and ER wasn't sure if they were going to continue as a show, period. They had been on for a long time. Great show. One of the best experiences I've ever had. But I was on the bottom of the food chain there. I was like number 6 or 7 on the call sheet, and they had to get through a bunch of different other contracts for the bigger stars on the show, and they couldn't really get to me. So my contract ran out. I wasn't offered the next one quite yet, so I booked a pilot called Supreme Courtships.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go do this other show. And I remember going to that table read after I booked it, and they had to sign off. And I go to the table read, and all the producers are looking at me like, really? So you got another show already? And I was like, hi guys, sorry, please don't kill me. And then they almost killed me on the show. Then they ran me over, and they took my leg. But so the pilot Supreme Courtships never took off, never happened. And ER lasted about I think it was 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
And they were so nice.
5 years around there.
And they asked me back. So I came back for the final season, and and had a great run on that show.
Where they shoot that, in LA or New York?
Warner Brothers.
Okay, wow.
And by the way, at the time I was living off of Cahuenga Pass.
Okay.
So my drive was like 7 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect, dude.
It was so cool.
You have so many things on your resume. Does that matter at this point in your career that people look at all the stuff you've done, or they look at like ER or a Walk to Remember, like the certain ones, or is it just? It's important to have this kind of. You did so much, bro. It's crazy.
Thanks, man. I mean, like I said,
the first one was 95. Right? Picket Fences was the first one, maybe.
That was my first gig.
Yeah, on TV. Yeah,
still in high school. Yeah,
damn.
Junior year. Yeah, that would make sense. And I couldn't drive, and I was supposed to drive. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
But there's so much, dude. It's crazy, man. Ocean's 11 too.
Yeah.
And Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That was one of my first roles too. Yeah.
Dude, there's so many.
I had 2 lines in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was pretty funny.
But still, you can have 2 lines and still get
people still talk about it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's wild. Dude, I had 2 lines on Boy Meets World, and they still talk about that.
And you still get checks from that too.
I don't think so.
Okay,
not really. That's when we get into the dark world. Okay, because what's going on in the industry now?
And, because one of my friends was in one big movie called Click.
Yeah.
With Will Smith. Yeah, well, yeah. One of those shits. Or Snap, whatever the shit was. Yeah. He's barely in that. He's barely in that. He got crazy checks from that, dude. It's so different than record sales and royalties and stuff like that, I think.
Oh, well, check it out. I mean, my original band, Johnny Was, it was Ben Gould, who was an actor at one point, and then my drummer, Jerry Fitzgerald, who was not an actor, and they both were hired onto Once and Again as my character's band. They both were hired as my character's band because on ER as well. They kept doing this musical angle with me forever.
Great though.
And so they were getting checks.
Put your friends on that.
And the best was Jerry because he wasn't an actor and he was just getting checks. They were forcing him to join SAG and he was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Were you trying to always have music in the mix, or they knew you were a musician?
Yeah.
They also knew you were a musician too. Yeah. That's cool. They bring it in there for you and stuff like that. It's crazy, man.
Well, then after the Germs, though, I was like, okay, any more roles that are coming through, if they're gonna try and do this music angle, I'm gonna drop that. That's enough. We've done plenty.
I mean, I think the Germs is fuck. So we have to get to Walk to Remember, which I watched last night with my family. I'm sure I might have seen it. My wife thinks she saw it, but like we were watching last night. My son, like, he's 21. He watches movies with us still, but sometimes he's like too cool on his phone or like whatever. It was like I was like, no phones. We're studying. We're watching this. I got him on my podcast tomorrow, but it just I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. It just took a super crazy fucking dramatic turn. Like I'm like trying to be weeping on the couch, and like Max is like, yo, this movie's fucked up. Max is like, this is heavy. But that's such, and then like also I saw you post about like it was recently on TikTok they were talking about it and the whole like storyline, and just it's crazy how many years ago that was, which I think it was 2002.
That sounds right.
The impact, and even back then we were talking before the pod, it was a big movie when it was a box office movie back then. But throughout these years it's become like this, I don't want to say cult classic, I guess. I don't know. It's still such an important movie to like even younger generations watching movies. I don't know. It's interesting.
It's awesome to be a part of that, because you could go a whole career without having something that resonates. Well, that resonates, but that also can last multiple generations.
Yeah.
That's kind of obviously not something you expect. And I had done I guess you could call it a teen film. I was at that age. I had done 2 teen films before that didn't do well.
Is that Get Over It?
Yeah, Whatever It Takes and Get Over It.
Yeah.
And I had great experiences on those, but they just happened not to take off. So you go into A Walk to Remember and you don't expect. And Nicholas Sparks, the author, was not he hadn't had a million movies made yet like he has now. So I think the first one was like Message in a Bottle, which was...
I remember that.
Well, then Robert Redford, I think. It was like an older generation, so it wasn't hitting the teen generation. And so we didn't know what this was going to do, and we had no clue that this was going to resonate. And we were not sad making the movie. Like, we weren't, feeling the emo of it all while filming.
Of course.
I mean, of course, scene to scene we did, but we didn't go into it thinking it was even sad, even though of course it was. We just had a good time and bonded, and everyone became family, and it was a great experience. But we did not realize the audience was just going to go, okay, we love this movie,
Yeah. I mean, people knew you were before this movie, obviously, because you're in this movie, and you've done a bunch before that. But I feel like we talked before on the pod, too, that just really put your face out there, like heartthrob, bad boy, teen people, like all this shit. So it definitely changed your life, in a sense.
Oh, my God,
like being recognized and stuff like that, probably. And
it did. Now then I had a band at the time. I had a band, Johnny Was, and so when we played shows, we were suddenly selling out. That was a little weird, because we were like, do you like the music, or are you coming because of this movie?
To come to see you. To see you. Yeah.
Well, dude, I'll put it to you this way. I'll never forget this. I might have it framed somewhere, actually. We sold out to El Rey. We didn't have a label.
Wow.
We weren't signed. Big. And that was big enough. And I will never forget that. But it was definitely them just listening for that one song, maybe from the album or from the soundtrack, and just looking at us as like, what are we? That kind of thing. So it was awkward.
That is awkward, yeah.
But hey, we got to sell at the El Rey, so that was cool.
And you said you have a gold record too for having the song on the
That's right. And apparently it went platinum at one point.
Sure it did, dude.
But I didn't. I'm like, I'm not gonna chase them down for a platinum record, even though that sounds kind of cool.
But that's cool. You have your song on the soundtrack, which is
Yeah,
that's such a great. Just the movie. Just I don't know. Mandy Moore was incredible, obviously, and she's gone on to do amazing things. And she was a singer then.
Absolutely,
and it's just wild how just fast forward to TikTok now, 2024. It's like on there, and like people trying to analyze the whole thing.
Oh my God! Well, it was a 20-year. I love it when they go, "We got to do a sequel." I'm like, "How the hell are we going to do a sequel?" It's always brought up to. I'm like, well, also she died. I know. Spoiler alert.
Or just like your life after that, what happened?
I mean, that would be boring as hell, I think. And I got a new wife, so everyone can hate her. No,
you don't need sequels to keep it classic, man.
No.
Absolutely. But that was definitely a game changer, I would say.
Yes, it was.
You start getting more work after that? Well,
this is how I looked at it. At that point, I was about 24, and I made I was waiting for a hit.
Yeah.
And when we got the hit, then I made the conscious decision of not doing high school anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm not in high school, but you get pigeonholed and stuck in certain things.
Oh, those kind of movies.
30 and doing high school, like who knows?
True.
Like I remember Scott Wolf and Party of Five. I think
Also, the girl I realized the girl that was on 90210 was like 30 on that show. and the kids were like 20.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And now she's like 60. They did a reboot. No, it's crazy. She was so much older, but she didn't look it. It was crazy.
It fit, yeah.
But you don't be stuck in that role, yeah.
No, and if you have this success, then you have more of an opportunity to say no. For me, I called them backpack roles. I was like, all right, no more backpack roles. I'm not going to walk down that high school hall with my backpack at 35. And so I could have kept going. There's a couple of movies I remember that came my way that were similar, not similar in the romance department, but similar in the pop kind of thing. And I was like, that's not me. Mm-hmm. So I said no. I was fortunate enough to get League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which was nothing to do with age.
Yes.
And then after that, ER. So there was I was able to jump that. And even in ER, my God, I was young. And I was suddenly a first-year resident when I started that show. And I was like, I don't know if I'm Doogie Howser over here, but maybe I'm a first-year resident at 26 or 27, but okay.
Damn. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's just like one movie like that. It's just like one album as well can change people's lives and be like the big record. Or
yeah. And if you can go that route, continue doing it if you want. But you have the opportunities more to change it up, or make it your brand, make it whatever. Now that things are brands, but you can do that kind of stuff. And for me, I was like, now I want to do the things that I want to do as long as I can pay my bills. And for me, it lucked out with ER, paid very well, but was also a very good show. And then I was able to do the Germs film, which also changed my life in a whole other way.
Yeah, so it's crazy, man.
And I turned down a lot of stuff just to do that. So because I knew it was real, and I'd become close to so many people in that world, including Darby's family.
Yeah.
Before they passed. But yeah.
Were you making a living obviously before that, leading up to A Walk to Remember? It was like your full time.
Yes, because what happened, what saved me was Once and Again. So that TV show went 3 years.
Yeah.
So that paid my bills. Allowed me to buy an apartment.
Sick.
Because I wanted to invest something.
Smart.
I was in a studio at that point. So Once and Again is what kept me going, because after the end of each season, I did Whatever It Takes. Into that season, I did Get Over It. Into that season, I did Walk to Remember. So that kind of, it
was so consistent. It was nonstop for you. Yeah.
I was fortunate with that. Yeah.
So now it's just been like full. What was the last real job you had?
Is this over now? No. Okay. So I was thinking about this earlier.
Like a real job.
Now everyone's going to absolutely hate my guts.
Oh, shit. What is it? Like
I have never had.
It's okay. Not the first person.
Real job. Really?
Yeah.
Now I've had jobs, but I was a babysitter. I mowed lawns. For in high school to get money to buy CDs and all that kind of stuff. I babysat a lot. But by the way, when I babysat, the kid was like 11. So we played sports and Nintendo the whole time. I was the best babysitter when you were like 11.
Yeah, that's easy.
And then I mowed lawns like crazy.
It's like all classic traditional jobs you get as a kid. No,
right.
But you were young when you started.
But I didn't get that W-2. Yeah, I didn't go in and like clock in.
No boss.
No, because those first 2 years I was on a couch in a garage. So I lucked out. But I was very close.
Incredible,
I was very close. I had a bartender book, and I was learning how to make drinks because I think I had $100 left, and a residual check saved me.
Damn.
And paid my rent for that month. Otherwise, I was screwed, back on a couch. And then did the play.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And then it went from there. So I lucked out.
It's interesting because unless you're established, it takes a while because you're job to job. It's like you don't know what your next gig's going to be. So it's nothing.
Oh, my God,
yeah. It's hard. And I'm sure you get, you get your SAG card and you get insurance and all that stuff and you get legit. Sure. That's nice. But but there's no stability and consistency, I guess is the word. Like back then, it's just like you said, the audition, and then all of a sudden 2 years, the next audition. It's like
it's
crazy, man.
Why a lot of people love television and they also don't love television. Television gives you that consistency that you were just talking about, but it also doesn't. Well, now it's different. Streaming. Netflix 8 episodes or something like that. But traditionally, it's 24 episodes a year. Network television is like 22 to 24 episodes. So if you're doing ER. July to April, you're working only on that show. You can't do anything else.
Okay.
That's your life.
Yeah.
So for some people and some artists, they don't necessarily want to do that. They'd rather be able to jump from job to job, do different characters, do different movies, do different projects. So it's, grass is always greener, I guess.
Yeah. So you've been doing what you love your whole life, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
It's weird to think about.
It's incredible though, man.
I lucked out, man. I mean, look, I put in the work,
totally.
But also there is a form of luck in being in the right place at the right time and being told no a million times. And even now at 46, still being in the right, whatever the next job is, being in the right place at the right time, them looking at you now as a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's a trend. It will continue to be like this way until you die.
Are you still auditioning and stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate during COVID.
Yeah.
It's been.
Where were you then? Were you in Cali or you?
I was in Cali.
Yeah.
And then I decided to move to Nashville.
Okay.
But I was very fortunate to work a lot during COVID when a lot of people didn't, and found a lot of films. I have a few coming out. I'm guessing this year because it's 2025, right?
Yeah.
So I've got a few films coming out that I'm excited about, and that I was able to continue doing because strikes. First of all, we had COVID, then we had the strikes, and then it's been tough. And with an industry that's changing, as we know, for music as well.
For sure.
It's frustrating for all artists at this point.
AI stuff, all that stuff.
Oh my God. I don't do anything AI.
Yeah.
I just refuse.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm being an
old
grandpa,
I'm just
I don't even
understand it, bro.
No, and then when I see pictures and posters of him, like, just draw it. Just use your own talent to draw. Don't do the AI. I don't know. That's just me.
We started watching The Walden last night too, but it got too late. It was like 2 a.m.
That's a dark movie.
Yeah,
but I'm not playing bad guy.
It's starting to be
Oh yeah. Walden was a lot of fun, and that was during COVID too. By the way,
it was. Wow.
I'd say the newest one, also during COVID, was it's on Peacock right now, called The Dirty South.
The Dirty South, yeah.
That one's a lot of fun.
Okay,
that's a cool kind of Bonnie and Clyde true romance kind of.
Ooh, true romance.
Feel. Yeah, that's my favorite movie.
Me too.
Is it really?
Come on, bro. It says.
Look at this,
dude.
You're so cool.
Dude, look behind. Look at the heart behind you on the wall.
Which one?
On the pink.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, wow, I didn't even realize
Dude,
that.
I have like.
We almost have the.
I have the same tattoo.
Really? Oh, that's.
I have
so
like
cool.
5 True Romance tattoos. I have a song called True Romance. I have True Romance in my wedding ring.
Oh my God! Really?
I fucking rented the car from the movie for anniversary, and we got driven around with it. They have that purple Cadillac out here.
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah, bro.
Wow.
I'm dude. Me and Rappaport hosted a True Romance thing a couple years ago.
Did you really?
This is Dick Ritchie.
Yeah, of course.
The
toilet paper.
I just saw Patricia Arquette in real life at this thing her and Brolin did, but I didn't say nothing to her because I was so like, oh my God, it's Alabama. I didn't say shit to her. She's like smoking cigarettes outside. I'm like, oh my God, she's still a badass.
Oh my God,
bro. Yeah,
bro. I felt like Clarence. I had a Facebook that was Clarence Worley.
Really?
And I have one of my backup emails was I know I'm pretty. Fucking Gary Oldman.
Wow, dude.
So I love the True Romance. Yeah. That's a trip, man.
We have matching True Romance tats. Me and Travis got on tour on the Boxcar Racer tour in 2004.
I met him a few times when Matt was in Blink.
Oh yeah,
because I went to a bunch of those shows.
Matt killed it.
I mean, I absolutely.
Shout out to Skiba, man.
Dude,
my man.
I love Skib.
Shane Ray has got a trio tattoo. It's fucking awesome.
I just did that this summer.
You did?
Yeah, he kind of freaked out. I was like, hey man, I'm just gonna do. I was on my first ever cruise. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise.
Were bands playing?
No, I just wanted to.
All bands are doing that now.
I mean, I'd like to do that. I think that also sounds like
a
lot of work.
It does, dude.
And too much.
Where'd you take a cruise
alcohol or whatever the heck? I went to. Oh my God, where did I go? Oh, I was in Greece. So I went to Croatia, Montenegro, Greek island of Corfu. And I did it all alone, and it was so much fun. And there was tattoo artists that I saw every day for like 7 days, and I was like, I've got some backup ideas. No, but Virgin Voyages apparently will always do this. They do it as an option, and it's 2 artists, maybe more, maybe less, but it's got to be one. And like that way I'm thinking. But I was like, I'm gonna do the Alkaline. I'm gonna get that done.
Fuck yeah, it looks great.
And he's I love the red.
Me too. It's
and
super
how messed
punk.
up kind of
I know.
it is. Little bigger than I thought. Not gonna lie.
It's okay.
It's always my dad's band thing here was bigger than I thought. But I thought I'd put it next to the Germs tattoo too.
That's great. Yeah,
that's kind of how we met when we played a show. He has a Germs tattoo somewhere, I think on his leg.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of, I was like, all right, I'll put them next to each other.
You sent him a picture and he's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I think he posted it or something.
I'm sure. I've been keeping up with him a lot right now because he's up there too and stuff. Yeah. Damn, that's amazing, dude.
But all the True Romance, man, that's
bro, that's my favorite all-time everything, bro.
Same.
James Gandolfini's first movie. The cast is like, it's like 5 people that are dead from that movie. It's crazy. Dennis Hopper.
Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, bro. The other guy.
Chris Penn.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I know. But just down to Val Kilmer playing Elvis. Just so many things. Yeah.
Dude. Never been duplicated. People have tried to kind of make kind of a True Romance kind of vibe movie. You ever seen Something Wild? Ray Liotta and Melanie Griffith?
No.
Dude.
No.
It's one of Ray Liotta's first movies. It's got True Romance vibes. It's a love story. It's violent. It's crazy.
Okay.
Jeff Daniels.
No, I haven't.
Bro.
Oh.
This might be a new favorite movie.
All right. I remember that.
But True Romance is like, I can never get sick of that movie. Dude.
No, neither can I. I love introducing it to people too.
Me too. And there's so many people who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Dude, Brad Pitt. What?
Oh yeah, Floyd. Come on. Smoke the toilet paper. Yeah.
but Patricia Arquette, dude.
Alabama,
unreal,
man.
dude.
I know. That in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Patricia Arquette was in. Was it Dream Warriors?
Oh yeah.
Those 2 movies, cute as hell. Yeah.
Is True Romance in your top movies?
Absolutely.
Same. It's like probably my number one.
It might be my number. I do lists in my head, but they're not. If I did a top 10, that's all wrong. They will all be number 1 or number 5. Like it's hard for me to. It's the same with music. My God, if someone says that, I'm like, please don't. I'm like, I can give you a list of a lot of things I like.
Totally.
But in the number, no, it's hard.
Also, you have the band Twilight Creeps.
That's right. Yeah. That one, Twilight Creeps was a lot of fun. Me and
the last drop was 2021, I think. Goals.
Yeah, that was a fun thing. Well, and we did that during COVID.
Okay.
Of course, 2021. But a lot of fun. We were both Brett Clore, the other lead singer and mainly the writer of the band, most of the songs in the band. He and I knew each other from Johnny Was. I knew him from the OC punk rock world he was in. He had this band called Hollywood Endings that he was in. And we befriended each other and we write well together. He's a great guy. Love the guys. And we also all love horror movies.
Nice.
So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do after the Germs. And if I was going to do it, I wanted it to be Misfits-esque, that kind of feel.
Yeah.
And we did that for a while. And it was a lot of fun. We did a Warped Tour right before they
that's cool.
Before they closed down. We actually opened for Alkaline Trio.
Damn.
We got to do a little tour with Millencolin, which is one of my favorite bands.
Nice, Millencolin, yeah.
And with Mest, who I know Tony from Mest. Yeah. And so we went on that tour for a few shows. And we had a lot of fun with that band. It was
cool.
Really cool.
You have a couple of albums.
And Strung Out, actually.
Really?
Chris Aiken, love him. So
that's
we did
cool.
a couple of Strung Out shows as well. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You've been doing a lot of music, man. It's crazy.
What the irony now is going to Nashville, I'm not really a country guy. So, and I don't, but I'm not, Twilight is around when we're able to, get together to actually do that. But a lot of them, married, they have jobs. It's a little bit hard to do that. So if I was going to do something new, I don't know what it would be yet. And if it was going to be country, it's going to have to be outlaw, or it's like a Chris Stapleton, or it's like a Tyler Childers, like some, or old school, obviously Cash or Patsy Cline back.
So you like country?
If it's outlaw, you know,
that
feel.
That town.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's not bringing me into, suddenly getting a Ramones band together, So I don't know. But there's so many musicians out there. One of my good friends, Justin Richards, plays for Dan and Shay, and he's a NorCal kid, and he had a bunch of emo bands and pop punk bands when he was growing up. He was in. So a lot of these artists have joined other bands, but it's more country.
Yeah, everybody's on that now, dude. It's crazy.
I know.
What's his face? Post Malone put her on. Beyonce put one out.
Oh my God, that's right.
And I like Post Malone. He's cool. I think
Post Malone seems cool. I've never met him, but he seems cool.
He knows about punk and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he's in the mix. Yeah, he goes to shows.
He knows music. That's what's, whether you like his music or not, he knows music, and that's always kind of cool.
And he's super, super talented, man.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
You also have The Shade of a Girl. You have Theater is Dead. Are those other 2 movies coming out?
Yeah, The Shape of a Girl is a short. that we are, I believe, aiming for festivals. But Theater is Dead is exciting. That's a movie that should be coming out this year.
Okay.
That I'm stoked. I play basically a theater teacher who's psychologically abusive.
Okay. And you don't like theater too. You didn't want to do theater.
No, but it was funny because I had to learn some techniques to like even be the theater teacher, you know?
That's cool.
But it's very cool and it's a dark comedy. And I can't talk, some of these I can't talk too much about simply because of the twists. So a lot of the stuff that I have coming out, I was doing on purpose because of me doing something different.
Yeah.
And having a little bit more of twist, but then it ultimately makes it like, oh shoot, how do you pitch that? But Theater is Dead is very near and dear to me, so I'm excited for people to see that.
Is there stuff that you'd like to do, like characters you'd like to try, or a style of movie you like to do you haven't done yet?
Look, villains are a lot of fun.
Yeah, you kill it.
Thank you, man. I think Christopher Walken said also in True Romance.
Oh yes.
How could you forget? He was quoted somewhere. I'll just absolutely butcher the quote, but I believe he basically said that, look, heroes aren't any fun. He's like, villains are fun.
I know.
And that's when you get to truly get into something. And also playing the lead hero is actually more difficult than you would think. You have to be grounded, and not everyone buys you. Not every viewer buys you as that lead hero.
Yeah.
But the villain, man, you can spread your wings and have a lot of fun with. And I did.
Good point.
Last Night on Earth. And
yeah, dude.
I mean,
that girl was great too. The girlfriend in there.
Oh yeah. She was fantastic. Well, I wanted to get this California vibe.
Okay.
Brad Pitt, Juliette Lewis. That's kind of what I wanted. But
California with a K, ladies.
With a K, yeah.
That's another top one.
That's a great one.
Oh my God,
they're fantastic. But the director, Marcus Willow, he was like, no, you got to be everyman so that the twist is better towards the end. I was like, I understand, but I guarantee you anyone who watches this movie is going to think we're bad guys when we come in.
100%.
I was like, I wish I could have looked as cool as Brad Pitt in California. But
you felt the vibe when you guys first showed up onto the campground, whatever. It's like,
it is what it is. Yeah. You know, we're weird. And that's that's all that matters for it.
That shit was fucking great, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Was that on Netflix?
That was everywhere.
It's
Hulu,
everywhere. Yeah.
Amazon for sure. You can almost always say Amazon or Apple because at least they can get that rental.
The German movie's on Amazon Prime.
That's good to know.
That was hard to find.
Thank you.
We're checking YouTube.
I would love to see. What We Do Is Secret is the name of the Germs film. I would love to see that get a second life on streaming. It hasn't gotten that yet. Not sure.
You have to pay for it. That's right. Yeah.
I'm not sure how. Like, it could get a new life on a Hulu or a Netflix or something like that.
Yeah. So no kids for you.
No kids for me.
I like that.
No, never.
Solo. I like how he's traveled all around this summer, all around the freaking.
Gives you the opportunities to do that. But
you never married before?
No. I've had, you get the talks. I've been in serious relationships. You have those talks.
You've had some long relationships?
I have, but not, what is long?
4 years, 5 years.
Okay, then I have not.
I'm 28 years this year married.
Yeah?
It's fucking crazy,
dude,
bro.
That's fantastic.
I'm so lucky.
Congratulations.
I'm very lucky.
No, but that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is 2.5.
Okay.
That's my longest.
That's the longest?
My last serious relationship was 2019.
Okay.
And then
pandemic.
Then pandemic hit, and I avoided it for at least 2020 and 2021. Was able to tour around and do some movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe in 2023, I'm now starting to kind of, look towards that, or started to feel a little bit more comfortable. Also, I moved. So I had to change my life and lifestyle. And
did you move because the lockdowns, everything, just get out of here and just,
oh my God, so many reasons.
Okay.
But also I think one of an easy, quick reason is the industry changed.
Yeah.
So we didn't, as an actor, all of a sudden, thanks to COVID, everything was Zoom meetings. Everything was self-tapes. So now it's even doing this podcast. Like, we had to set up podcast rooms or self-tape rooms.
True, dude.
A gray background or a blue background, obnoxious crap.
Worst, dude.
And this is obnoxious. I can't stand it. But it's not coming back. And I've been told by casting directors, sorry, it ain't coming back.
So no more in person.
Not often. It's possible. And I'm glad that they're getting smart in realizing if you're casting a television show, or if you're casting a movie, perhaps like a Walk to Remember, something that is based on chemistry, you better test those people in person because they made a lot of mistakes, casting mistakes on a lot of projects in the last 4 years.
Okay.
By not seeing these people in person. Because if you help me with an audition right now and you're reading with me, I'm not going to fuck up. If I do, then we'll keep going until I get it right.
Yeah.
But in person is the real, success or choke job. Like that's just kind of what's going to happen in person. Same on stage.
Point. Yeah.
It's, immediate gratification. You're not getting that with the self-tape. You're getting 100 perfect, quote unquote, self-tapes.
Yeah. That's fucking
So it's really just for a look or who's hot, who's not, that kind of thing now, because no one's getting a bad audition. So even if you get a good one, you're like in person, you can change their minds.
Totally.
You're not changing their minds.
They'll see your personality, all that, your energy, everything.
Maybe just talking. Maybe your read was okay, but they saw your personality.
They love that. Yeah.
And they just lit up. You don't get that now.
Damn. So it's all Zoom. That's crazy. But I didn't even think about that.
That's the bummer of it. But the positive, you got to look at the positives too. And I think the positive
also save people time too, driving back and forth to auditions.
It does. It does. But it also
thing.
means you can move if you want. You don't.
True.
Historically, you got to be in LA or New York.
True.
So now if you want to live in Kansas, you want to live in Idaho, if you want to live in Peru, if you want to live in Europe, an island in the middle of nowhere, you can.
It's a great point.
As long as you are able to make those times work and like fly in when you have to.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I can go to Nashville. I'd still be here for sure.
Do you miss California?
I do. It's a little tough to miss it right now.
I know. Yeah.
But I do, and I always will be LA strong and LA proud because I was raised here,
Yeah, man. Lived all over California, like all over LA. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
We've seen before, Marina Del Rey, everywhere, man.
Culver City, Manhattan Beach. Yeah.
Dude.
I know. It's true. But it's like, I went from little LA to big LA, little Louisiana to big LA.
Yeah. How about Louisiana? Do you have family and stuff out there, friends out there still?
I do. So my dad and my half sister, Marley, and her husband, they live out there.
Oh, that's
cool. And actually my aunts and uncles and cousins and almost all in Baton Rouge. My aunts and my mom is one of 7. So they're spread out throughout the South.
Yeah.
Texas, actually Nashville, North Carolina, all over the place.
Okay. Is your mom still with us?
Mom's still with us.
Awesome, man. Mom and pops. Yeah.
Mom and pops. Yeah. Grandparents gone. Grandparents. The last grandparent left us summer of 2020. It wasn't COVID, but yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever want to quit acting?
No.
It's awesome.
I love that I thought about it. I think just because it knocks it down. But no.
But you also have you have music as an outlet as well.
Yeah. Even if it's, but that's what's so great as an outlet. Like right now, I'm out of control on my cell phone on voice memos of noodles on the guitar, of just hitting maybe just 3 chords, but just whatever it might be. There's a melody here somewhere, and I'm out of control doing that. And that's what you can do anytime, which is a wonderful kind of thing. And it's an outlet. Even if I do nothing with it, it's a meditation. In a way, I don't know how to meditate. I'd love to learn.
Same. I need that shit bad.
Really?
Yeah,
do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to do that. I need to learn. My wife does it.
I feel like you would be the meditation guru. I don't know why.
I know.
As I'm sitting here with, hold on, let me get some more coffee.
No, but
my shaky hand.
I could definitely. I could do it. My wife does it, but that's her thing. I do my own fucking.
Yeah.
What are some of your daily rituals? I know coffee is one, obviously.
Yeah, I live on coffee.
How many coffees a day?
I'm actually not bad since I have massive sleeping issues ever since COVID.
Really?
I'm really not bad, but pre then I would just live on coffee all day. I used to be able to drink coffee and go to sleep.
Damn,
it's crazy.
Dude.
Most of my mom's like that. She can do that.
It's like
no,
cups
I'm 2 cups. 2 cups. 2 cups tops.
Just black coffee?
Yeah. Real coffee. Real coffee. That's hardcore, man.
so this
you can't put that milk and that cream in there. And that's just a sugar drink.
So your sleep changed since COVID?
Yeah, but that's just stress.
Just stress.
I can almost self-diagnose anxiety, stress. I'm moving. Oh my God, I'm going to move to a new state.
But you moved your whole life to that. Moving is like one of the biggest stresses in the world, man.
Yeah, and then get a new friend group. Meeting, not losing your old, but adding new. And,
you have a lot of friends in Nashville.
Oh, fantastic!
Okay.
A great group.
So you already had people out there.
No.
Damn.
No, roll the dice.
Holy
like my mom did moving from Louisiana to California.
Holy shit.
Although she did it in a way where it was like there was no internet back then. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm very impressive with her.
So, yeah, so you have anxiety still?
Yeah. I think that's always going to be around. I feel like it's finding ways to maintain it, or, levels of it.
Yeah.
Because it's career, wins the next gig. Oh my God, all the strikes that we had in my actual industry, which I've already crazily forgot about. The COVID that the world had to deal with.
It's crazy, dude.
Now our fire is just being here, I was here to do a bunch of meetings as well. All those canceled.
Damn.
So it's a consistent kind of thing. I think it's learning how to manage that and just being aware of it and finding your own meditation, however that works.
Yeah, I think the COVID taught me like not to stress about things we have no control over. Just focus on things you can control.
Yes. I mean, well, first, that's 100% accurate. Yeah.
Because like I was so stressed. Like, when is music coming back? When's this tour gonna happen? Like, all that shit. It was kind of scary. But
and then
also,
are you comfortable enough to do that when it does? Because remember, like,
it was weird at first.
We're still doing those things, and we were having films where actors dropped out because they didn't want to go.
Yeah,
because they were worried.
I hate barricades. My whole life, I've always hated barricades. But our first show back was Punk in the Park in Arizona, Pennywise, and I was so happy to see that big ass barricade, dude. Because like people were masked up in front. I was like, what is going on? This is so weird.
What
this is
date
always
was that, or what?
2021,
maybe
2, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
It was just weird times, man. But I was just happy to be back on stage, but also it didn't feel the same. It was just a weird time, bro. I was like,
when you don't feel like you can get in there, and I love that you do, and and I did a lot of that with the Germs. It just feels like it's static. It's plastic. Just not really.
The connection isn't.
There's no connection.
No connection. But they were saying during the pandemic, it was like listing all the essential things. I'm like, dude, music's so essential. When is music coming back? Where is it? It's like the bottom of the totem pole. It was so weird. I'm like,
or not letting you not letting you go on the beach.
Yeah,
remember that?
I was going to that shit, bro. I was trying to learn how to surf with my son.
Really? Good.
Oh yeah.
I think it was pockets of however many.
I know,
people,
but the ocean was so fucking healthy to be at.
Of course,
they were making me wear a mask at Runyon Canyon, bro. I was like, they were checking your mask at Runyon.
I know.
But at the same time, we look at it now and kind of like that was stupid. We didn't know. In the middle of the whole thing, it was fucking so new and scary and weird.
Absolutely.
And taking our clothes off and spraying down your groceries, all this fucking.
Oh man, I remember that,
dude. My son was wearing.
I didn't do it for very long, but
yeah.
I lived alone, so I did it.
My son wearing a gas mask at fucking Bonds.
Mask at Bonds. That's punk rock, though.
But it was the news. The news, everything. I feel like social media, the news, everything magnifies everything now. It's fucking crazy.
It does.
How much you on and off? It's a necessary evil that we need to promote ourselves.
It is a necessary evil, sadly. But
are you on there a bunch?
I'm on Instagram and Instagram only. So.
Same.
Twitter I gave up before it got chaos because everyone fought anyway. They always did.
It's so annoying.
And when I started learning that people were just like, I remember this because when YouTube came out years ago, this actor, Billy Campbell, great guy.
Oh yeah.
Great actor. He played my dad on my first series. He was older, obviously, so he knew better. So he said, the comment section is going to ruin us. And I was like, what do you mean? This is great, dude. I was 22. Like, this is awesome. And he's like, this is not, no one should have access to you like this,
So true.
And he kind of, to me, I still kind of believe that. And he said, you should be able to go to a signing, go to a show, play a rock show, go out there and offer go and hang out with everybody like that. But to be a keyboard warrior and say, because you see these comments and it's like, you're the best, you're cute. I want to fuck whatever it is. And then you're ugly. And then the only thing you see is you're ugly.
Totally, dude.
Because we're human.
We're sensitive.
So you're insensitive. And you see this negative thing, it ruins your day.
It's so true. Why? I don't understand.
It's
a fucking stranger, dude. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. And it's hard. So I'm not doing TikTok. I'm not going to do, it's like as much as I tried for a second when I Walk to Remember had its 20-year thing. I tried and I was like, I just don't know if this is me. And there's no offense to anyone that loves it. My little sister loves it. But it doesn't work for me. And I also think that
it's getting canceled too. In a couple weeks.
Do we think it's going to happen?
I don't know, man.
Watch, they find a way. It's not. But I was trying to tell everybody, it's like, look, there's Reels on Instagram. It's the same damn thing.
I think Tesla, dude, whatever, he's going to come and save it and buy it.
Yeah.
Be the hero.
Of course.
That's what the whole.
I like Tesla, dude. That's a good name for him. That's perfect. Just call him Tesla.
I think that's going to happen. I'm predicting it right now.
Why not? Or somebody like him.
Okay, so
but no, I think how I worded this for me in social media is I think the internet is one of the best things that's ever, I think, happened to the world. Maybe one of the worst, but definitely the best as well. Social media just is in theory not necessary. If we could have done this, if we could have left social media on your laptop, let's say it's on your laptop right now, but never on your phone.
So cool.
I think the world would be a better place.
Go home and log in.
You'd have to go home and be angry. Go home and be angry, or go to that coffee shop and be angry. Do all that kind of stuff. But you wouldn't be on your phone quite as much. But by the way, you still get your texts, still get your internet, still get your maps, still get your Spotify, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
But if social media was just forced to be on a computer at home,
dude.
I think you'd have a little less angry people.
People would keep that same energy, driving all the way home, raging, then get home and sit down, relax, have some food, and go and keep it. Oh, I don't feel like that anymore.
No,
because people are so fucking just.
Oh, it's too easy.
I know. Everybody's got an opinion.
F you, and you're like, oh God, now I'm pissed.
Like now you could actually go and say fuck you to 50 Cent or somebody that you love, or like you can write something, and they might actually see it and respond to you.
That's true.
Like having that much power, and like you said, being able to be, I don't know, nobody's mysterious anymore. I don't know, it's weird, man.
Yeah, you can't.
But we need it to promote our bands, podcasts,
100%.
all this shit, dude.
There's both sides to it.
Do you check your DMs?
I do and I don't. I've also had people actually do that for me.
Okay, that's cool.
So that's been that. I do that periodically, actually.
Okay.
I don't do it 12 months out of the year, but I do it definitely multiple months out of the year.
So somebody run your social media?
Exactly. Just to answer some stuff.
That's
just to
nice.
relax me.
But otherwise, you go in the rabbit holes and all that shit.
Oh my God, absolutely. And my initial reaction is I'm going to punch a wall. My initial reaction is I'm a caretaker by nature, and I protect my family, protect my friends, I protect strangers. Like you just an initial reaction, and I know I could see that in you, But I feel like you're much calmer than me. Like I'm trying to get better at it, and so it's best for me not to always look, because then I might be like, all right, I gotta go find this person somehow.
Yeah, you're never going to
go to a park.
You're never going to win an argument on the internet. You're never going to see somebody in real life. Nobody's ever going to say shit to your face.
You can't win. No, even if you did the greatest drop, like the mic drop moment, you still can't win, because they'll find it, or they'll just call you a name.
But how these people have time all day just to like talk shit on the internet? It's so crazy to me, bro.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying. It's because it's here. It's attached to your phone.
True.
And if it wasn't, then it'd be a little bit harder.
Yeah, you're right.
Now they may not just ever leave their house, which is fine. That's
most people don't anyway. But
that's its own problem in itself. But yeah, they could do it right now at Starbucks.
I know.
Driving.
Damn. So do you let a negative comment bother you? Did you used to let negative comments?
Not as much anymore. No. I mean, you can't. And inherently I don't. But there's always a little part of you that goes, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, damn it, you're getting into this heart.
Well, then if you respond to somebody like that, which I used to do, they were like, oh my God, thanks for the response. I can't believe you responded to me. I was just joking. Like,
and then they got positive about it. I was just joking, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for responding to me. I'm going through it, or...
Well, try it with positivity, and then I'll respond to you. I do that.
But I understand people are going through it. They're
absolutely,
but that's not our thing. But I used to answer crazy long DMs years ago. People were writing crazy sad things to me. I would take all day writing people back. I just can't do it no more. It's draining, man. Well, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a singer in a punk band.
There you go. There you go.
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
But people look up to you. You know?
Yeah.
And look, I think anyone wants to be noticed. Everybody wants to be noticed, and they should. They want to be heard. So if they're seeing someone that they are a fan of or look up to, and are inherently a nice person, or at least come off that way, then it's very exciting for them to get that. I mean, we go back to decades ago with just handwritten letters. That's exciting. It's
true.
And I used to do that.
Me too.
We do. Right.
I got boxes of letters.
That was a little more fun. That was a little more fun.
I responded to every single fan mail I ever got my whole life. I boxes of it still. Yeah, man.
That's impressive. That's
always,
awesome.
dude. I still love writing letters and shit. Postcards.
Yeah. I thought about bringing postcards back.
It's kind of sick.
just forcing it upon your friends.
Do you know who still does postcards? Is Ian Mackay from Minor Threat,
who I met on Germ Store. One of the first Germ Store. We played DC. We played the Black Cat.
Yes.
And he was backstage, and I was like, "Oh my God!" That was another one of those moments.
Best, dude.
Yeah.
What do you do to relieve stress? Like, what you work? I know you work out, and what's your?
I go to the gym for sure. That is definitely an outlet.
Totally.
Even if it is literally walking on a treadmill, because it's just something. And it's good for you. And the older you get, you got to do that. Got to keep moving. Literally voice memos on my phone of just noodling in the guitar, reading. Watching movies all the time.
Yeah. You watching new movies and stuff?
I did. My favorite new one is Substance with Toby Morse.
Incredible, dude.
That was just so
That
cool.
was so original and so like bonkers. It was.
Oh, the ending just.
Dude,
I started laughing because I was like, "This is insane."
It was over the top
in a good way
at the end.
Oh, it was perfect.
But she got her first kind of award for that. That was awesome to see that speech.
I saw parts of it, because I knew a couple of her daughters, and I was just so proud and happy for them. So that one was fantastic. Another good one that's people have already stopped talking about is Heretic with Hugh Grant.
I fucking love that.
Great movie.
That was fucking so intense, man.
Very intense.
Girls in the house locked in with him, and he's like religion, and dude, it was
the performance was great. Talk about theater. That could have been a play,
dude. That was incredible.
That was an incredible one.
Nobody's really talking about that one.
They were at the time.
Okay, it was pretty original though.
We're also hit with so many things, right? This medium's out of control.
I love the way he knew about every religion. It was just like, bro, this is really educational.
Brilliant character, and it was educational.
What about sobriety? You sober?
I'm not sober. No,
it's okay.
No. But no
judgments.
My sober, the end. Not sober.
What's your thing? Drinking?
But I've never. Yeah.
It's cool.
If it's my vice, I'm guessing is what you meant. Yeah, I was a heavy smoker, as in cigarettes.
Okay.
And but I quit 10 years ago.
Nice.
That I'm completely sober with.
That's incredible. That's hard to quit.
I'm not cheated. Not cheated once.
It's great, man.
And that's my proud, kind of moment.
Fucking gnarly, dude.
With alcohol, it's not a crazy thing and it's not a work thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a work thing. And I'm also getting to a certain age. You're like, I know what I'm going to do before and after. Like, this is not going to happen. And I've never really been a drug guy.
Yeah.
So it's not for me, I guess my vice would certainly be coffee.
Yeah.
But it's not caffeine because I'm not into
It's the
Red
ritual,
Bulls,
isn't it? Isn't the ritual of it or something?
Love the smell.
Yeah, the taste.
My mom, I don't know, she like leather lips or something, but she
used
to
just
community.
Drink. Coffee's like a whole like subculture.
It's a whole subculture. Oh my God, yeah.
Are you like a coffee snob?
No. It's funny that you asked that. So with coffee and pizza, it's funny. With coffee and pizza, I'm a snob. I want the best. Tell me about the best and where I can find it. And I will go to 7-Eleven and have a slice of pizza.
Damn.
And I will go to 7-Eleven and get a shitty coffee.
Coffee, Dunkin' Donuts.
Because I just like it. I just enjoy the crap and the greatness.
Yeah.
At least with coffee and pizza, that's my thing. Hey.
So coffee's your thing. Yeah.
Coffee's my thing. Yeah.
And you working out? You run too, or no? Just do weights?
I don't run. I walk. I'll do the real fast walk.
Oh yeah.
So you get your heart rate going, you sweat, and all that kind of stuff.
Some New York City type walking.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, somebody with a knife behind you.
Yeah.
Just could walk fast. I think for me, I learned when I was doing Nikita, TV series.
Yeah.
Was the first time I started going to the gym. I was 30 and I was always skinny dude. I feel like I weighed 100 pounds always. And, when I started going to the gym then I learned my body type. Maggie Q on the show, who's like a freak when it comes to workout. And she's very, very healthy and very strong. She would tell me what to do and what not to do. And she saw me running. I remember season 2 and I got a little skinnier. Yeah. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm running. I'm trying to be healthy. And she's like, you don't get to run. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're not the body type that should be doing this all the time. You're going to lose all your muscle, like all this kind of stuff. So it was like, oh, she's like, if you want to do that, walk fast on a 10 incline, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh,
sprints are good.
Thank you, Maggie. Yeah. Sprint, stop, that kind of stuff. So I don't really run. It's more lifting, and I'd like to get into yoga.
Yeah, dude, me too. I had like a really bad experience doing hot yoga once. It was terrible.
I never did hot yoga. No.
Brutal, dude.
Well, didn't you have that injury too, right?
Yeah.
Remember that's how you yeah. So, well, I think I did that because of lifting.
Really?
So, improperly.
Me too. Yeah. Going to the gym, my son, going to Goals, training with a 21-year-old who's not a trainer.
Right.
Doing these crazy deadlifts.
Why am I listening to my son?
Doing deadlifts with the fucking bar on my back, bro. I'm all good now. The PT saved me. It's been 6 weeks.
PT is helping me too, and I'm gonna contact the contact you gave me to once I get back to Nashville. Yeah. I was using one here in Santa Monica for the meantime.
Was helping you out?
And he's been helping me out. This guy named Anthony. He was great.
So you hurt yourself in the gym?
I'm guessing. Because when I saw your post, I was like, this is me, dude. Like, I'm like, this is me.
Did you get MRI too?
I did, too.
Did you go in the machine?
I did.
In full body?
The hell is that about?
Bro.
Yeah. That banging and everything.
But also there's one I found out after that's not, you don't have to, it's like not open. It's like, it's open. It's Open MRI.
An open MRI, and it's probably more expensive, I'm guessing, and who knows.
So did you have to put your whole body in like I did?
I did, yeah, but I did it twice, man. Because when I was at Vanderbilt, when I decided to do just I just went to the ER at Vanderbilt with no appointments. They just did my L spine.
Damn.
And then I came back out here and I was like, no, there's something wrong with my neck. And then I did the C spine.
So did you have like a herniated disc or like a bulging disc or something?
It's like a 3 millimeter.
Me too.
Yeah. It was at C6, C7. Shit. I knew when I saw your post.
And dude, it's connected. Did you have tingling or no?
I had tingling.
In the fingers over here?
The fingers, yeah. Right up the sides.
Bro, it's so crazy.
And I got them on my legs too, though. I'll get them on my legs too. And I think that's the L.
It's crazy. Everything's connected like that. It's wild, dude.
It's not fun, but I think 2 months of not going to the gym helped. 2 months of PT helped, but now I'm like, no, that's over. I got to go back. I just got to be diligent.
Is it gone now? Is it feeling?
No, it comes back. If I go to the gym, it comes back.
Depends.
But the pain doesn't come back now.
No.
So that's a good thing.
It depends on what kind of exercise you're doing. All the exercise I'm doing now doesn't cause any of it. I just started getting into push, but I do my pole, my lower body, all that stuff, a whole thing in the garage. But like, depends on what I'm doing, and then it might come back. But also, I was so hypochondriac about it. Like cyber focusing on this shit every day that like the minute I got my MRI and found out what it was, and the minute I found Helen, my PT, I just stopped thinking about it. All I kept thinking about was like getting better and the whole process of fixing myself. And I don't even think about it no more.
Right.
And I feel like I know mental can do a lot, but I know physically it was there, but I think I was just obsessing on it, bro.
Well, that's
the mind's crazy.
Of course, but you need some sort of results to relax. I mean, that's the thing. You need something, dude. I still don't know what it was, but I had at the same time I could swallow, but there was a lump in my throat. Dude. Like I had like an Advil stuck or like a Tylenol, whatever stuck in my throat. And when I went to the doctor to start this MRI stuff, they gave me this numbing cream that I had to swallow, which I almost actually choked. I could barely breathe.
That sounds disgusting.
It was weird. Took it away. And as soon as I found my results, it never came back. And I was like, this is called stress. Like you're starting to make your body fall apart because you're worried.
Are you hypochondriac?
You need results. I never was until COVID. I mean, honestly, 2020 just beat me up.
Damn, a lot of people got PTSD from that, man.
I do. And I never got COVID. In theory. I mean, I'm sure maybe I did. I just never tested positive. Damn. I did test when I didn't feel as good, but I never tested positive, and I never had the obvious, I was never knocked out.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of those issues.
Wow, man.
And I traveled and I did a couple of films, and
probably masked up on set, all that shit.
I put myself in some situations where it could have happened, but everyone else is.
So testing on the sets too, everything was super strict.
The first film I did, Escape the Field, which is a lot of fun, by the way. I don't know where that is now.
I'll find it. We're going to find it. Escape the Field.
It's a fun one.
Okay.
Was the original,
first wave of COVID.
All the way into your brain kind of stuff.
Brutal.
For 30 seconds or something. It's insane. I have them all on video. Might still be on my phone. I was going to edit them all because we had to do them like 3 times a week or whatever. I was going to edit them all. It was insane. I showed people that and they're like, what is he doing? But that was
big ass swab, like big Q-tip up your nose.
Just breaking through the membrane.
And then we realized we didn't need to do that later on. No. We could do it lower yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what are we doing?
Dude, it was such a weird, it was like a movie, bro.
Yeah.
That one movie was like the #1 on Netflix during that time. I forgot what it was called. Contagion? What was that? One of those ones.
I think so.
It was
I didn't watch it.
I watched it. I was like,
why am I paranoia? Why are you watching that? Yeah. For me, I was like, no, I'm good. Yeah.
Hope we never have to go through that shit again.
Let me watch some like, Mission Impossible, some fantasy, movie instead.
But yeah, it was such a crazy fucking time.
God,
dude.
I hope not either.
Ever again. What about therapy? You believe in therapy?
I do, absolutely.
I just started myself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
First person in my family ever to go.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Man.
My mom, I believe, was the first person in our family to do that. And, my sister and I went through it when we were teenagers.
Oh,
getting out of my mom's first divorce. Sorry, second divorce, because that would have been my father. Second divorce. And we had to go through some therapy there. And then I've always kind of believed in that though, because, but even right now, you and I are having a form of therapy.
Totally.
It's like, it's just communication and just being open and
connecting
not shutting somebody down and connecting. Yeah. That's a part of therapy. And sometimes honestly, that's what you need because you can't afford it.
I know. It's really true.
By the way,
insurance doesn't even cover that shit.
No, of course not. And then, oh my God, if they could, that would be great. Or if they did, that would be great. But Also, sleeping issues because of the anxiety. So I started seeing a psychiatrist who was helping me with potential, beyond like if melatonin will help, it's not beyond the herbal stuff. I was trying to see if anything could help. But then, as he's amazing, by the way, in Nashville, but it was expensive. And then it was becoming real therapy sessions. And I was like, am I ready for this? I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
You start peeling back the layers and talking about stuff.
I was like, man, I peeled back so many times. I need to not peel back for a second. I've always been a fan of it because I think it can only help.
Totally.
And it only just eases your mind. Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, it eases your mind. Just like I said earlier, people want to be heard.
Yeah.
They want to be, they want to have their voice listened to.
Yeah. Did it help your sleep? Does melatonin? I keep seeing things like,
melatonin's bonkers. Not really.
Dr. Andrew Huberman? Yeah.
Yeah.
His friend of mine, he's a big
not
podcast.
Personally,
yeah,
not
he's
personally,
a homie. He's like a punk rock skateboarder, a big scientist.
Sure.
He always tell me about melatonin. Told me not to take melatonin. I don't know why though. I should look into that. I take it on tour. I love it on tour for jet lag and stuff.
Well, I feel like you gotta look. I mean, I'm not a therapist, but I feel like especially with tour and like in entertainment, any sort of artist schedules that are totally irregular, and there always will be. We're not a 9 to 5, so that can give you regularity, but our careers don't have that. So you gotta have something that works for you.
I know.
You don't have to do it all the time.
Wasn't strong enough for you?
Well, if I take 10 milligrams, it is.
Oh yeah, 10 milligrams. Yeah. Me too.
Okay, cool. But how at the airport it's like 2, or I feel like a lot of times when you see them, it's like 0.5. It's like I don't know.
True.
Like, it's like so weak.
How are you traveling? Are you anxiety traveling?
No. I'm good with that.
How about flying and stuff and sleeping on planes?
I can't sleep on a plane.
You can't?
No.
Me either, bro.
But I can travel. Dude, if I have taken pharmaceutical pills to try and sleep on a plane.
Still didn't work?
You're passing out, but you're waking up 17 times.
Fucking groggy and shit and weird.
You didn't really sleep.
You're going through customs all groggy and weird.
Well, heaven forbid.
That's the worst.
Where's your hotel? What's your hotel? Oh, I forgot to write the hotel down.
Unless you get business class, we have a bed, which I did for the first time in my entire life this last summer.
That's nice.
My whole band, we all had beds. It changed everything, bro. It was expensive, but it was worth every penny, bro.
It's worth it. But by the way, I've sometimes done that and not been able to sleep.
No way.
Yeah. Well, because it's still like...
I hope the movie's paying for it then.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, the first time and only time I went to Australia was lay down beds. First time I ever had that.
It's like 16 hours though. You have to have that. It's crazy.
But also, I was 24. I was actually doing a press tour for Walk to Remember.
Oh, dude.
And so I took my publicist or whatever sleeping pill or whatever the heck it was, and I slept the entire time.
Sick.
Entire time. I woke up to breakfast. I was like, Australia's not far.
Dude, that's how you travel.
That's how you travel if you can.
But yeah,
but I've never paid for that. No.
Yeah. But sleeping though, it's hard for me. Like in traveling, the jet lag. What about losing your voice when you're playing the shows? Were you doing vocal warm ups?
I was afraid of that. I
Hell yeah.
really lucked out. I think mainly because you're singing. So you could be screaming, shouting, and things like that, but you're also still singing.
Totally.
With the germs, I wasn't.
Okay.
It was screaming because Darby didn't sing, and he also didn't do it properly, and also I didn't do it properly. I remember looking at bands like The Used, like Bert, and I'm like, how the fuck were you able to?
Incredible, dude.
Scream so good and transition into a really good singing voice as well.
Definitely warming up, definitely vocal cord.
And had to, but I didn't do any of that, man. And I think
I'm surprised they didn't get you that for the movie. That's interesting.
Oh, the movie didn't care. We didn't have no budget. Right. Yeah, we had no budget. But even on tour, a tour was what scared me, not the movie.
Yeah,
the movie was easy for those specific days.
Touring, so you weren't even warming up for the shows?
No, I didn't know what to do.
Damn,
and the band didn't care. I know. I wish I would have. I known anyone then, but I was thrown into the wolves, man. And
that's because sleep's so important too on tour. That's when you really lose your voice.
Yes, I did. Well, let's be honest. I think with the booze and at the time, I slept okay, and we were on a bus, so like on my bunk, I slept okay.
Love the bunks.
Okay, quote. I mean, it's like a booze sleep is not good, but I slept in theory. It was the fact that I didn't. My only go-to was the honey bear tea.
Yeah.
After every show, I I was still smoking then too, so that was not helping.
It's hard, dude.
I know, but I do remember we did so many shows that first tour.
What was like the most in a row you do consecutively?
Maybe 4.
Okay, that's not bad.
But the screaming, I think it was the 4th. I remember hitting in the first States tour. The second States tour, we did the Crumb Bums, who shout out to the Crumb Bums, who were great. And David, who's in the Casualties now.
Oh, really? The Casualties? Wow.
Yeah. But the first tour, I think we get to Salt Lake. And I remember going, uh-oh, this tour's over. Like, I can't tell the band, but like it hurt. It was like needles.
You're not singing from the right place.
No, and it didn't matter because thankfully I was, this was an homage to Darby, so I could be as sloppy as I wanted to be, but I was never going to be that sloppy. I wasn't I wasn't a junkie. I wasn't on drugs. Yeah. So it's like I could pick and choose how to be sloppy with my whiskey or whatever it was, and so I was like, okay, my voice is killing me. Time for the crowd to sing their favorite songs, that kind of stuff.
That's the best thing about punk rock, though, man.
Dude, right?
Sharing the mic, dude.
Oh, I'm sure. I know. That's how you're gonna survive. Man.
Yeah, that's how you save your voice. That's how. Yeah, like, dude.
Guilty by association.
Totally.
Just be like, here you guys go. How many songs do we have after this?
I know. That's the best part of it, though.
Yeah.
They'll hold you down if you need them to hold it for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I lucked out. I did luck out. And then I also medically lucked out. I remember after the final big tour, I went to a throat doctor.
Oh, okay.
To check and see if I had polyps. Because you hear all these stories, especially like in like old rock bands and like hair metal bands and things like that of just like, oh, well, they could have gone further, but the poor singer couldn't do it anymore. And I lucked out because I had an injury with Twilight Creeps on Warped Tour. No.
Oh, you weren't warming up then either?
No. And I was singing in that band. That's so crazy. We played without a sound check because we jumped into the Mountain View show, and it was like an amphitheater kind of thing. Yeah. We were in that amphitheater side.
I remember that.
So we couldn't hear ourselves. So we were just doing our best.
When the monitors suck, it's terrible.
And we were screwed after that. So especially me. So I learned to just
not talk.
Yeah. It was only 4 shows I think that we did. So but I heard it in the first show. So I went to the doctor after that. I was like, okay, I went from germs to this Twilight Creeps Warped Tour thing. Let's give this a rest. And the doctor said I was okay. He said, you lucked out, but stop.
Yeah, the not talking thing is the best thing too. I would bring like a notepad on tour sometimes to write notes if I was not talking all day into the show.
Yeah.
Another thing that gets you is after the show, if you're going by the merch and talking to the kids and hanging out, you're talking all night fucking long. Like your voice never rests, dude.
It's not a rest.
It's hard, dude.
No. And then if you're doing the parties, if you're doing whatever it is, sometimes just are your friends in the town jumping on the bus or jumping in the van, whatever it is, you're still hanging out until 4:00 in the morning or whatever it is. Like
fucking crazy, dude.
I know.
Is it a random one? Do you have any major regrets in your life?
I guess I can say no if I'm thinking about it for major regrets. No, I don't think I do.
I like that.
I don't think I do. There's things that you do better. There's things that you do potentially differently, but a regret, no. I think you learn from your experiences, or you should.
100%. Yeah.
And you move forward from that. And I don't know. I kind of.
And no movie you said no to that ended up being a huge movie?
Oh, yeah. Nothing fun like that either. I've been fortunate.
Okay.
There was one that will always stand out to me. But I don't think it was a big, like, monetary hit. But there's this movie called Brick that people really liked. And apparently, now this goes back to the no backpack rolls. I said no to that. A friend of mine was casting director for that, and she was trying to convince me to do it. And I was like, oh, it's all about school, man. It's all about school. I was edgy as hell and honestly better than some of the movies I had done. And I totally should have said yes. And I was like, oh, man. But usually no.
Okay.
There were some paydays that would have been nice to say yes to where the films didn't go anywhere, but you would have had that check.
Yeah.
But it's never been about the money for me. So that's just not the way that I work. So thankfully those weren't hits. But if they were, it was a payday and a hit, man. That's just a double slap to the face.
Do you feel the same kind of love and passion for acting and music is kind of equal with you? Like doing both?
Yeah. I always said, if you had a crystal ball and you had to, like, if you could see your future, and it was like 2 different paths, and it was music and successful, Doesn't mean you have to be the damn Rolling Stones, but
Totally.
successful as in, happy family.
Yeah.
Money, not that big of a worry, or acting the exact same way. I would choose music.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because that was your number one passion too.
Because it was just, how I was born like your kid, I bet.
Yeah.
Where my mom, like we were in the back of a van, like an Astro van, where
Sick.
they were literally playing in a park and we were by the speaker, just laying there.
It's cool, man.
To the practice rooms constantly with two different bands, my dad's band and my mom's band. So
Partridge Family.
Yeah. I mean, it was a trip. And they were in these,
cool.
My mom was in a new wave band. My dad was in like a pub rock, kind of punk rock band in Baton Rouge. And that's just how we
It's in your blood, dude.
It was in the blood. So that would be for sure I would take that route, even though I'm, diehard actor and movie whore. But,
but if you were doing music for a full time too, and then acting on the side too, you'd be happy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
What a crazy journey.
I know it is wild. And at one point I was gonna say, we were talking about memories earlier. I got to write down these shows that I did with the Germs.
Yeah,
it'd be a fun little book or something.
Yeah,
like
like a
that.
journal or something.
Like a journal. Yeah. I did, thankfully, when we went to Europe, started writing down the names of the venues. So I've got it somewhere.
Yeah.
It's in storage somewhere.
That'd be cool. You drop like a journal about your experience.
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, it was a hell of an experience. Yeah.
What about like a book about your life? Did you ever write a book?
Maybe, but look, there's
still living it.
There's a bunch of passages, that we haven't written yet.
I know you're still young. You're still in your 40s, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you for telling me that.
Oh, you look good.
I feel better.
You look good, man. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Are you an optimist or pessimist?
Is it possible to be both?
Sure.
Okay.
A realist?
Is that what that is? Maybe.
That's what my wife says she is.
Is that a little bit of both?
I guess, yeah.
How
were you during the pandemic? Were you super
very optimistic?
Okay.
But see, when there's panic, I become the optimist.
Yeah.
I might be falling apart inside. I don't know yet because I'm not going to allow that to happen. But I'm also easily irritated. So I feel like the pessimism comes out of that.
Still?
Traffic. Oh yeah. Traffic coming over here.
Oh,
I had someone on my ass and I was like,
you get road rage?
I started getting road rage.
Damn.
I'm like, what am I
too old for that shit? Dude, it's not worth it.
Too old. I mean, I don't think there's any age right for that, but especially at 46. I was like, what am I doing?
Like, I'll miss it here for that.
But it was just initial. It just comes really quick. So maybe a pessimist and optimist. I'll say realist. I like what your wife, I like what she's saying.
You're a pretty happy person though, no?
Yeah, naturally.
In a good place right now in your life?
In a good place. Always excited because there's always something. Look, one of the things that I'm really getting into is producing as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's exciting because it's something new.
Yeah.
And bringing people together, finding the money for the project, finding the talent for the project, just connecting people has been something I've always done, but now it's a little bit more like, oh, this could also be a partial career. You know? So, and it doesn't mean I'd have to act in those projects either. It's I kind of would like to not.
Yeah, it's nice.
The Last Night on Earth, I ended up being a producer on that, but it would have been great. It would have been great if I wasn't in it at all. I actually almost stepped back. I was like, let's cast somebody else because this would be fun. I'd love to be there every day going like, ooh, what are we doing today? Making sure things are running.
Too, in a sense. Yeah.
Different kind of pressure.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of pressure of making your day. You got to be done by a specific amount of time. Otherwise you go into overtime and that's a nightmare. Yeah. Because then you're paying a million people. But
it's true.
That's exciting. So that's something new for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know with music, it's always around.
You still want to do more with music? And
I might. I know that my brain.
I feel like a country vibe might happen. I'm not sure. We'll see.
God, if it does though, I'm not a good enough musician to do it. Like for the. I was saying like I can't. Oh, I'm terrible on an acoustic, but I'm not going to be a country guy playing a guitar with I'm power chords, man. I'm self-taught. I don't even know how to I have to. If I watch you, I can figure it out. But if they're a singer-songwriter rounds, oh my God, that's like my theater nightmare. That's my improv nightmare.
Damn.
So I would have to be a country star that doesn't play an instrument. And I'm like,
then you got to stand there.
Who is that? I'm not dancing.
I know.
I'm not dancing.
And in cowboy boots, bro.
No. See, I always said, if I did do that, I'm wearing a baseball cap. Okay. And wearing motorcycle boots.
Okay, that's fine.
That's how we do something a little different.
That's different, yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know who does that. I think even Stapleton plays a guitar. I'm like, man.
Yeah, it might be kind of awkward. It might be kind of awkward, dude, being up there.
I'd rather or you just go back to your roots and do what you know.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe just slow it up a bit. I don't know.
Do you check out new actors and stuff? You keep your eye on what's happening with the new up and coming.
I try.
Especially if you're producing stuff and looking at.
I try. Yeah. I should. I'm better, I think, at that than I am at with new bands.
New music. Yeah.
Because I'm so into just the stuff you know.
I know.
And then maybe if the stuff you didn't know, but the band that was along for the ride that you didn't really listen to. So now I'm going to listen to that a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
there's so many new bands, dude. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Especially punk bands, dude.
That's good.
It's crazy, dude.
That makes me excited, though.
Especially after the pandemic. It's like thriving.
Well, I mean, I think it takes, these are those moments where punk can explode, you know, of these moments of stress, really.
I know, man.
You know?
I'm glad you survived the pandemic, man.
Me too.
Definitely feel like it really hit you hard, dude.
I mean,
like mentally and all that.
Oh,
stuff.
It did. It did a lot. I mean, it was looking out for the fam, looking out for friends, also knowing I sold my house, by the way, 3 months before the pandemic hit.
Oh, wow.
Because I psychologically was already checking out. I was like, I think I want to go somewhere else.
You were already over LA at that time?
Yes. I was already like, I think I'm going to try something new and then keep an apartment here. So I was like, all right. And then, that hit, man, it was tough. But it brought so many great people into my life. And that's one of the most important things, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful things that came from it, too. I mean, a lot of people people died, obviously. It was really sad and tragic, but there was a lot of crazy things that came from that.
Well, that's looking at the optimism of it, too, you know?
Yeah.
Look at the positives of it.
Do you have any favorite roles you played?
The favorite would be What We Do Is Secret, Dark
That's
Crash.
So cool. That's awesome.
Mainly also because it's not just the fun factor of being able to do a biopic.
I feel like the world that opened up
but
up
just
to and
joining
everything.
the damn band and doing
crazy, bro.
Like,
that's never happened before.
I don't think it's
Did somebody's played somebody and then became the actual person in the band?
Swindle Magazine did a cover for us and an article for us, and the reporter said that. Really? I didn't know. We didn't pay it. I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Nobody's ever done that.
She was like, no, I was like, okay, man, I've got this. You know, this is a good checklist.
It's crazy. You know? And Wes is your real last name, correct?
No. Wes is a middle name.
Okay. Yeah. Your last, you have it here.
Last name is Snaith.
Snaith, yeah.
Never met one in my life.
And middle name is Bruce.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you changed your name.
Well, Shannon.
I think I read about this.
Shannon Snaith was difficult at the time.
It's kind of hard though.
I kind of like it now. But by the way, at 16,
I know. He thought it was a girl's name too. I read something like that.
Yeah, my God.
But my dad's name was Tracy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Tracy Lee Morse, which is crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But dude,
that's a cool name.
Shannon Snaith is kind of a hard last name too, though. I don't know why.
So strange.
It's like Snake. It's like kind of.
Well, and that's so my dad's nickname in his band was Snake because
there
could say Snaith because I was like, all right.
Yeah, what is that? What does that come from?
It's British.
Okay.
It's actually a village or a town outside of 3 hours outside of London.
Okay. Yeah, because your dad's British Jewish, right, and Portuguese, correct? And your mom's Cajun French, which is Louisiana French?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right, yeah.
That's cool. Dad was born in Jamaica.
Dad is born and raised in Jamaica.
Damn.
Dad, grandfather, great-grandfather, and great-great-grandfather were born and raised in Jamaica. Yeah.
So you've been in Jamaica, obviously?
Yeah, just went recently.
Really?
Yeah, to go back with my dad.
So you got roots out there. That's cool.
Yeah, we have hardly any family left now.
Okay.
But some random cousins, but yeah. My dad is turning 70 this year.
Is there anybody you want to work with still in your life at this point that you never worked with or had
I would love to work with Tarantino. Going back to the True Romance. Unfortunately, I think he's doing his last movie.
Really?
Maybe.
Does he keep saying that?
Well, he keeps saying that. I hope he just keeps making stuff. But the thing is it'd be great if he kept producing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to direct it necessarily. But if he's behind the scenes, that'd be kind of great to work with him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about an actor? Anything like that you thought about?
Man, I mean, you got your
De Niro's
classics. You got your classics of the De Niro's and the Pacinos and the Sean Penns.
Oh yeah, Sean Penn, dude.
Absolutely. But I'd love Jim Carrey.
Love Jim Carrey, dude.
I'm a big Jason Bateman fan.
Oh my God, incredible, man.
Those are some actors I'd love to work with as well.
Oh yeah.
Look, I was fortunate enough to work with Brad Pitt and George Clooney in Ocean's 11 for a second.
Still
It'd be
cool,
great to do it again in a bigger capacity.
Damn, Jason Bateman doesn't get talked about enough. Obviously we know Ozark and everything else he's doing. That new one too, but the airplane was. It was intense. I watched it. Fuck, I forgot what it was called, man.
It's Carry On.
Yeah, Carry On.
I was like, Lockdown, Lock Up.
Dude, Jason Bateman, he's been in the mix for so long since that TV show when he was a kid. All that. What a career, dude.
He's had a hell of a career.
I remember him and Brolin. Dude, Brolin from freaking Goonies to now.
I forgot to say, Brolin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fan of his. And
comes from our world too, man.
And I love his story.
Yeah,
I got to read that book. There it is.
It's great.
I can't take your book.
No, it's great. He's the homie. He's the best. He's a real one, real like the most humble Hollywood person you'd ever meet. Like it doesn't come from comes from our world, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Grew up with RKO and those dudes.
Wow. That's a trip.
Crazy, right?
I know.
I love all the people that come from different worlds and we're all connected through music and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean that's what it when you're I don't know if I don't want it to sound negative, but if you feel like you're lacking a family, or if you're lacking something, especially as a kid growing up, teenager, whatever it is, young adult. I don't know. For me, well, music can bring that together. Period. But
totally.
punk rock especially.
I know.
And that's just what always kind of did that for me, was just finding that family.
I wonder if there's other genres. I always talk about that. Is it just punk rock that like lets all the people feel normal and they can be themselves, and all the weirdos and outcasts? Or maybe there's another genre that's like that too, metal or hip. I don't know, but I feel like
I don't think metal or hip hop.
I feel like punk is so special, dude.
Yeah, punk is really is special with that. There's sides of it that are just the people that are completely not friendly, but in general, I mean, because we're talking humans here. We're all a mess.
Not friendly. That was a nice way to say it.
Forms of a mess.
I mean, there's violence, there's insanity,
for sure.
Yeah,
and
there was skinhead
movement and all that crap,
shit, bro.
But, which is terrible. But like but in general, I think it's one of the few forms of music that is just open to that, open to being a family.
Did you become like a big Germs fan from the movie? Obviously,
oh yeah, sure.
And you're in the band,
sure.
You're singing the band, like.
And then I got to know the I paid attention to the scene as well too. Of that LA scene.
Yeah.
Adolescence, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Agent Orange, Black Flag.
Ooh, Agent Orange, dude.
Yeah, of course. And
Black Flag.
They just played Agent Orange.
They did.
The Whiskey.
TSOL.
I didn't.
Social
TSOL.
D?
We ended up Social D, of course.
Oh, God,
yeah.
Best, dude. There should be a movie about Mike Ness, dude. Does
he not have a doc or anything?
No, there's Another State of Mind in those movies back then, but like he just went through like throat cancer, he beat it.
That's right.
He's on tour with Bad Religion. He's just like a legendary.
Right.
He's like the Elvis of punk rock, especially on the West Coast. Like he's just so cool and like he's like a movie character to me, man. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, no. Look. And that such a
somebody
style,
playing him
style icon.
I can see you playing him, dude. I don't know.
I mean, but that's the thing. Now I'm young, or I'm 46 now.
It's okay, dude.
We got to jump to. I'll play the 21-year-old.
Are you getting some dad roles now or no?
I'd like to. I mean, I get some of those meetings. I've played a dad. I love how to think about this, but no, I have, and and I'm forgetting the.
It's okay.
The damn. Gossamer Folds. There was this fun film where I played Gossamer Folds, where I had a kid, and it was the kid from It.
Was it?
What's his name?
No way, dude.
Who?
I don't know.
Who goes down the sewer?
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great. He's great.
Yeah, he was.
You
fantastic.
His dad?
I was his dad in a movie called Gossamer Folds, and that was fun.
Damn.
And yeah, those parts. Look, I'm in the age of a full-on teenager.
Gossamer Folds right here. Yeah. Damn.
I could have a teenager's son.
Was your Outsiders TV show?
Outsiders TV show?
Yeah, says you on Outsiders or something?
No. Oh, okay. That was the name of a movie called No Running.
Okay,
It was turned into Outsider.
Okay.
Which was a lot of fun. That was a wild, weird fantasy type film where I played a cop. I think that was my first cop role.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because then when you saw Walden, I was a detective.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Then you had Gotham too.
Gotham, man. Gotham, I got to be Bane.
Oh,
dude!
Fuck.
So as a Batman fan,
2019.
Yeah, as a Batman fan, and as a comic book fan, mainly Marvel.
Yeah,
but if it was DC, it was definitely Batman. I got to play my favorite villain.
That's sick.
Which was cool. I was another little star moment, or check mark kind of moment.
Was that before the Tom Hardy Bane?
No.
Oh yeah,
no. It was because Gotham. I think it was 5 years that show.
Okay, yeah.
And they always had their own twist
on
how they would do the characters.
Yeah.
And until the final season, they wanted to add Bane because they hadn't used that character. And they hit me up. One of the exec producers was one of the exec producers on Nikita.
Okay.
So they hit me up, and they couldn't tell me. They were trying to tell me what the character was without telling me that it was Bane because they were trying to keep it a secret.
Damn, I'm going to watch that this weekend.
Yeah, finally the producer goes, Shane, it's Bane, okay? It's Bane. And I was like, well, I was going to say yes anyway because this sounds interesting, but I'm definitely saying yes now. Yeah.
Damn. That must have been fun for you, dude. Yeah. Just his voice, everything.
Absolutely. But you know what? I think I was right about my theory about Tom Hardy and Bane. Because I noticed it's hard to hear him. They always talk about it. It's hard to hear what he's saying, right?
True.
But he has a mask on. Tom Hardy, I'm a big fan of, by the way.
Love Tom Hardy, dude.
But he has a mask on. And I remember thinking, I bet you he could say whatever he wanted and did all of his lines again in ADR. I can almost guarantee you he could just mess up. Like it almost didn't matter. It was just about the performance, about the physical performance and the emotion and all that. But I bet he could have stumbled. And like, 100%. Because you can't hear any of that. So I go and do this. And they call me in to do ADR, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. Because I had a big mask on and everything. And I get my amount of work, and they said, Shane, it's going to take about 4 hours. I was like, what? And then I went and looked at, it was every single line I did. I had to redo.
Holy shit.
And I was like, I bet I'm right about Tom Hardy. I bet I'm right in that Chris Nolan. I was like, geez.
That's crazy.
So much work. Yeah.
What about like, do you ever, like, it might be too personal, but like, is it true like you could fall in love with a cast member and end up dating?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like chemistry on set.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a thing that's been going on since the
that's how you see
black
people.
and white days,
yeah, you see people like becoming couples and stuff like that, and just like.
But I believe that can happen on tour.
But having real chemistry that's not forced.
That's not forced. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh,
on tour too. You said
I think that can happen on tours too. But especially in the acting industry, and especially on where it's dangerous is television. Because you're working with that person for multiple years. That's a tough thing.
Oh yeah.
Movies, you come and go.
That's a good point. So it's like
if you want to make that mistake or whatever, you might have that fling on a movie, you can come and go.
Shit where you eat.
But with that television show, you better hope that works out right.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a great, I never even thought about that. Because you're seeing her all the time. Damn, dude. Yeah, you get so many things here, man. I mean, we covered a lot, but yeah, you've done so much, dude. What a crazy resume. And the only job you ever had, music and acting, dude, is fucking such a beautiful life, dude.
Thank you, man. Actually, hearing you say that is
it's crazy when you have to talk about yourself too, but it's just people don't like talk about it. It's just your journey is just like really think about it. And I'm sure during the pandemic, you think about like all you've done. Is it over? What's next? And all that shit. You start thinking about your life, and
sure.
It's hard. Like when you're not like working, you start thinking like when I'm off tour, I'm like. When I'm on tour, like I can't wait to get home and see my wife and kid. And then 2 days later, my wife's like, "Get out of the house and go on tour."
Go back on tour. Yeah,
but like just like your purpose and shit, like what you've done and put in the world and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's very. Until I haven't done another. I'd like to get back on TV. It's what I've started to look at too. I'd like to be part of a solid, TV family again.
Yeah.
Always fortunate enough to have success in television.
Obviously, the money's different in TV and movies. Extremely different, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even if the money is not that great on TV, it's the amount of episodes you're doing.
Totally.
It adds up.
And you get royalties like a record.
Well, you hope you do. Netflix has been a problem with this. But,
I know that. I had Dreyer on here from The Sopranos, and she said she never get any royalties from The Sopranos.
None?
Nope. Never.
How is that possible? That's an HBO thing.
And Gandolfini gave them all like checks for $30,000 each, gave them watches. It took care of the cast out of his own money.
Good God.
Fucking legend.
Maybe because that was
HBO,
infancy stages of HBO
man.
Doing series, because my favorite series is Sopranos.
I watched it a million. How many times you watch it, you think?
Pandemic. I watched it again during the pandemic.
Me too.
And I introduced it to a bunch of people who had never seen it. I was like, watch this fucking show.
We did too. We rewatched the whole thing.
And it still holds up.
Incredible, dude.
It's incredible.
That, Breaking Bad, The Wire, dude.
You know what I liked a little bit better than The Wire, though? The Shield.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, check out Shield.
Okay.
Check that out. Only because it was a little bit more exciting. Wire is great. And the writing is fantastic. And the actors are fantastic. And the performances are fantastic. It just felt a little slow at times for me. Whereas The Shield is not slow. That was like the beginning of FX. And like obviously you remember Cops, the TV show. Like Steadicam blasting everywhere and all that kind of stuff. So The Shield's kind of Walter Goggins in it.
He's in there?
Yeah, it's like one of his first real, like regular roles is fantastic.
He's ill.
Yeah.
What about like the, what's it called? The Walking Dead or those kind of
Walking Dead was a lot of fun. I actually auditioned for Walking Dead.
Really?
It's a good story. I actually, I was going to test for Walking Dead for Shane, for the role of Shane.
Oh, shit.
Oh God. And now his name is escaping me and he's fucking brilliant. Punisher and oh my God.
Anyway, we'll look at that.
But so I was going to, I think it was testing for Nikita, and had the chance for a Walking Dead. And I didn't know the comic, but a friend of mine was a diehard comic book fan. And she was like, you better get this. It's got to be huge. She was definitely correct. And they couldn't wait. I remember what happened is I had the opportunity to test, but they were going at their own speed. And they were going to do it whenever they wanted to. They weren't in a rush, whereas the CW for Nikita was in a rush. And of course, I love Nikita as well. But I remember that opportunity. I was like, well, I love Nikita too. So I was like, okay, so I'll do that. And then in the end, it was obviously a good decision, but I would not have gotten Walking Dead. Yeah. Because the dude who got it was perfect. He also looked exactly like it from the comic book. He was he was fucking yoked. I hadn't been to the gym yet. Right? I started on Nikita. Skinny. So I was a skinny dude who would have been opposite Andrew Garfield. I don't think it would have worked out very well. So I think it all worked out great, but I'll never forget that.
That's incredible, man.
I had the opportunity. It just wasn't booked.
Are there other auditions too, like big ones as well that you didn't get?
One of my bummed out was Terminator 3.
Oh shit! Wow.
Which a buddy of mine, Nick Stahl, did at the time. Damn. But I wouldn't have done League. So I was testing for a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and Terminator 3 at the same time.
Holy shit.
And that was exciting. Damn. But I was always the wild card on that one. They wanted to go with Reese character, which they did again with Anton Yelchin. Like they wanted to go a little, not quirky, but more of like the anti-hero to be the hero. Yeah. And at the time they were looking at me more like that I was not necessarily right for that, but I was just busting my ass trying to get that role. So I could do this, man. I could do this. Damn. So that was a bummer, but I got to do League. So that was great. I've been very fortunate with the roles that I've wanted. And then been able to have something else, you know, it wasn't that horrendous story where it was like, oh, it didn't work out. And then just nothing else worked out.
No, I know.
So
you've been through a lot of agents and managers throughout your career too.
Oh yeah. I think we all have.
Same. Oh yeah, dude.
You know, yeah. It's transitional.
I know.
You know,
because some people you get parts. Sometimes we get shows from friends' bands. Oh, we want to take you on tour. Like our band with Pennywise, they would play these shows with us, and you have to go through the book and just all that stuff. Just fucking. Because you make connections throughout your career, and people just want to. I'm sure you've been invited to be in some things because of your friendships with people. I'm gonna get you on this. Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, that's what honestly a lot of help on Twilight Creeps with the band. Skiba. Chris and Strung Out.
It's awesome, man.
So much help there, you know. Yeah. Tony with Mest, like, you know, all have helped out for sure. And that because we weren't known, you know. Yeah. If we didn't advertise, we'd play in front of 20 people. So it was but we knew we had good music, and it was, if they didn't like the music, we wouldn't have gotten any help. So that, for sure. You know, so it had to be a little bit of both, but yeah, it's also tricky, like being an actor and then singing in a band too. Like, some people really pull it off. Yeah. Juliette Lewis kills it. She did. Yeah. I mean, Jared Leto went off and did that. I remember.
I think 30 Seconds of Mars. Yeah. Kevin Bacon, the Bacon Brothers have a band or something.
Didn't Russell Crowe and
he did?
Bruce Willis did. Remember?
Oh yeah. But I put Juliette Lewis as an incredible front.
You can just see. And sometimes you can just tell it. You can feel.
I know.
I've never seen them live, but by looking at her videos and social media, that's all. What you mean? I recommend going to see her live, but you can see it in the videos how good it is. You know, and you're like, oh, this has got to be great.
She goes off, dude.
You can, I mean, a hell of a front woman.
She was singing at the last show. She kind of sounded like her character in Natural Born Killer. She was singing like this kind of falsetto song. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Huh?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
She's a real one. Yeah.
Yeah, she has to be, man.
What about, you have like a top 5 of bands or artists or punk bands?
The Clash is definitely up there for me. Actually, the Kinks are one of my favorite bands.
That's right. I have it in my notes. That's right. You love the Kinks.
I was raised on the Kinks.
The Kinks are sick, dude. They're underrated as well, man.
Big time.
Do they have? Is that Lola? Did they sing Lola?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, dude. Incredible, bro.
Lola's Waterloo Sunset's one of the best songs.
Yeah, I got the Kinks. The Kinks, the Jam, Blondie, Elvis Costello.
Yeah, man. The Jam. I still have Setting Suns on vinyl.
Damn.
Yeah, those were.
Nobody mentions the Kinks in their top 5. It's crazy.
Oh, they might be number 1 or number 2.
That's cool.
I usually say Clash or Kinks.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Green Day was huge for me.
Yeah.
Because it felt, and MXPX too, because they felt a little bit like.
That's cool.
Me. I was younger, obviously, but in not fitting in high school and trying to figure this out and trying to figure out even how to play a guitar and my Squier Strat, covered in stickers. And, those kind of felt right. But also at that time, a good friend of mine in high school, when Dookie came out, once again, no social media.
Yeah.
He told me about 39 Smooth and Kerplunk, their first couple albums. And he put them on cassette tape for me.
Okay.
So when Dookie came out, I had 3 albums to listen to. That's why it really became a big band for me, because I was discovering 3 albums, not what we were used to, one by one kind of thing. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, this is great.
Green Day Overload, yeah.
Yeah, and it did. I mean, it made me jump to everything.
From that,
Rancid,
it's like Offspring, Pennywise, Bad Religion, all those bands, Descendants.
I mean, you're like you guys, like everybody was. It was a cool. Then a little bit later for
Epitaph
me,
Records, all
Epitaph, dude. I was on Honest Don's, Hopeless, Fearless, like just so many
Fat Records,
absolutely. I was weird. I was like, I didn't jump on the NoFX band. I mean, like I did later, but I didn't jump. It's like you just kind of Millencolin was huge for me.
Are they from Canada or
Sweden?
Sweden, okay.
Yeah. So, and thanks to the Germs, we played Stockholm. And they came to the show. Sick, so that was cool. And then we became friends that way.
It's like underrated band Millencolin. People don't speak about it as well.
Well, I heard that song. I mean, the Millencolin fans love Bullion. Out of Virgin Records. Remember when you could listen like we are now, like to those things? And I saw Life on a Plate. And it was this little chicken or whatever, like on the thing. And I listened to the first track and I was like, I'm going to play the guitar. This is phenomenal. Damn. And I was fortunate enough to be, while everybody was that new wave of popularity,
totally,
of like MTV and
it's like the year punk broke, whatever, 94, 95.
Yeah. So
Rancid, Out Come the Wolves. Oh my God,
it's a perfect album. Yeah,
Blink-182 is blowing all that.
Blink-182, Cheshire Cat, I really liked it too.
That's such a crazy time, man.
Yeah, and then later Alkaline Trio, AFI.
Yeah,
big AFI fan.
AFI is great, dude.
It was just so much fun.
Dave was a great front man.
And a little smaller bands, like I really liked Squirt Gun. Which
I never heard of them.
They were great. I can't remember where they were with. Limp, I
remember Limp. Yeah,
Limp was awesome.
Before Limp Bizkit.
Limp, dude, it was the weird when you were at a Virgin having to look and you're like, just Limp Bizkit.
That's
like,
right.
Oh, there's the Limp CD.
I do remember Limp. Catch 22. There's so many.
Catch 22.
Did you like Scott
Link 80? Link 80. Remember? I did. Yeah, for sure. Like the Boss Tones. I liked, I mean, even Real Big Fish. I went to a couple of Real Big Fish concerts.
Wow. Sell out with me. Okay.
Dude, by the way, the first time, it's so not punk rock, by the way, but the first time I floated was at a Real Big Fish concert.
Damn.
You know why? Because I felt safe. Because it wasn't going to be a hardcore show where I might have gotten my ass kicked.
Yeah.
I was like, I could float at a Real Big Fish concert. This will be fine.
So my son's first dive was at Aquabats.
Oh, that's cool.
So for the kids and shit. Yeah.
I mean, Mad Caddies. Like,
Caddies.
like, man, with the ska.
Save Ferris. It was so many bands.
Hepcat. I met Monique. Hepcat. Oh my God, Hepcat.
I got Monique on my podcast this week.
Yeah?
It's coming up. Yeah, it's just going on. Yeah,
cool.
Stoked. Who else is out there? There's so many bands, dude.
It was but it was.
Warped Tour was everything too.
And Warped Tour was everything. And then I would go to, remember Aaron's Records? Yeah. I'd go to Aaron's Records. I'd go to Blindside? No, deep in Burbank they had a big punk rock section.
Oh, that's cool.
Fuck, is it Blindside? Something that I would go all the time. And you just sit there and rifle through the records and CDs and give them a try. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't, It's
crazy. You have to physically go somewhere and check out music.
I know.
It's so crazy how it is. Just swiping now and going through all the
trying to get better at Spotify. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, I can make playlists. Maybe I should do that.
Yeah, it's just crazy how we had to go out and actually physically go to these things and check out things and check out music. It was just a beautiful time, man.
I know. I definitely miss that.
Kids want to have that now. We're so lucky we've been lived during that time, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't that long ago, but I mean, not just like instant everything.
No, but that was to me, that was, one of the best times because it was really, all of those bands were hitting on something that I at least partially liked. I mean, or 100% liked. So I was just like, man, I could just go to any show. I can't wait to see the bands that open. That was the great thing too. It's like everybody that was opening, maybe even the opener, like when the damn door's opening and like there's one person running in to get a beer or get a t-shirt.
That's cool. You checking them out.
Like that was fantastic. You'd see some great bands like that.
I know. What a time. What a crazy time.
I think that's how I discovered Limp. I think we were opening for Less Than Jake, speaking of.
Oh, yeah, Less Than Jake. Yeah. Then he had Newfound Glory, Fall Out Boy, the Ataris.
All that. Well, the Ataris, love them.
Dude, so many bands. The Used, that whole era, My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday.
Oh, my God, yeah.
But the Used, Boxcar Racer.
Oh, my God.
Blink.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude,
of course.
I love the Boxcar Racer record,
just kept going. I never really... I listened to it.
Did you like Blink back then?
I liked Blink. I did. I was more Green Day, but I mean, we're splitting hairs because I really like Blink too. So it was a lot of fun. I was just like, for me, because it was I was in high school. Totally. I was like, and the radio was playing it. Totally. I was like, I want every single one of these bands to fucking succeed. I was like, keep this coming.
That's so cool, man.
Because I was like, yes, give me more anything. And so I was like, pro whatever was going to work. I get it if you didn't want to be on the radio, especially as I got older and was like understanding the punk and the selling out thing and all that stuff. But at the time I wanted everyone to sell out so I could hear it all because I wanted to hear it all. Yeah. I was just having so much fun.
I never understood the whole sellout thing because it's like you want these bands to succeed because you like them.
100%.
You want them to do this for a living because they love it and they live it. Yeah. It's like if they make money from it, you should be happy that they're doing something they love. But I get it, back then it was just so like major labels and MTV and all this fucking shit. But like all the success of those bands trickled down to all of us bands and all these other bands and helped everybody else.
Absolutely.
You know, especially on Epitaph because we were on there when Offspring broke. It was crazy, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Fucking shit, like 30 million copies or something.
Or Ignition.
Yeah. And that trickles down to like the Bouncing Souls and us and these other bands.
Yeah.
All on the label, and it helps
and
everybody.
That's all that I wanted as a fan. Yeah, was like get everyone popular to an extent so that I could see more. And for me, it was more. I was excited for people's success.
Mm-hmm. But Green Day stayed the same dudes.
Yeah. Do you know
what I'm saying? Yeah. So it didn't change anything.
And I finally met them later, and they were great.
Oh, that's cool! Wow, that's awesome.
And but Tim and I were friends for a while. From Rancid, I was a huge fan of, and thanks to that relationship and also him being a fan of the Germs, we got to do. They did a bunch of House of Blues shows, maybe 2009.
Rancid?
Yeah.
I was definitely there.
Okay.
The House of Blues on Sunset? Or somewhere?
We didn't do that one because I never got to play there.
Somewhere.
Orange County for sure.
Okay.
San Diego.
That's awesome, dude.
But we played for 3 or 4 of them. We opened for them.
That's great,
they asked us to do that. And I was like, oh, well, now I'm getting my Rancid fun.
Dude.
You know? I don't know if the Germs knew or cared necessarily, but I was like, I do. We're doing these shows.
They didn't know because it was so later on.
It was later on.
Different generations. Plus, you're the young guy singing that band if it's original. It's crazy. Yeah. The age difference as well.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought about that. Damn.
I know.
And you're sober. Yeah.
It'd be fun to play another show. Yeah.
Think that could happen again?
Days. It's a little tougher now. It's me, Pat, and Don. Because Lorna passed. God bless her. So now it would be literally Pat and Don as the original members, me and we always said we played one show, our last show.
When was that?
That was 2013, maybe. We did a benefit, Bill Bartell, when he passed, and we did it at the Echoplex.
Okay.
And Red Cross played.
That's crazy.
Right? And Adolescents again, because they're amazing. And we couldn't find Lorna. Lorna was always mysterious. She would just come and go. She was an angel, really. And we had Charlotte from the Go-Go's play.
Wow, that's cool.
Because the Go-Go's were from that scene. They just decided to play
because during the movie
music.
too. You're talking about the Go-Go's in the movie.
Right. Yeah, Belinda Carlisle was in the band. And they weren't, it was like me and you saying we're in a band right now. Like they really didn't even practice, but it was like, it was like a gang. Like they were doing that. And so it was kind of the greatest. It was Pat's idea. He goes, I'm going to contact Charlotte.
It's cool.
She's a very good bass player. And we'll play this and we'll call them the Germs of Go-Go. And I was like, that's fucking great. And we played, and it was one of our tighter shows for sure.
Yeah.
But it was the last show. Yeah. I was doing Salem at the time because I had a huge beard.
Damn.
Which Don hated, I remember. It's like, shave that beard, hippie.
Because I remember when Darby calls home, he's like, yeah, the Go-Go's are popular in England. He's talking about the Go-Go's, I think, when he calls home, calls the radio station. Also, when he dies, I was going to ask you, I don't think he wanted that girl to die. He gave her enough so she could just get high and he could die. That was the vibe
that's
I got.
That's everyone's vibe.
That's what I think.
The problem was, if I remember correctly. I'm still alive. Yeah, if I remember correctly, in the scene, she wasn't a very loved person. So I think, and you had your hero die, so all of his family and friends and supporters and fans were very upset with her because they just assumed she was well known to being a junkie. So she was just like getting all the blame. I'm like, no.
So last person he saw, though,
that's the last person
sad. He goes, I'm having a party at Okie Dog, and nobody wanted to go.
Exactly.
And he goes, he's all by himself. It was really sad, dude. Yeah. He's looking at the germs thing on the tag on the table.
That's right.
And then she comes, the party girl, whatever, and like,
so it's
really sad last couple of hours of his life. Maybe think about.
Yeah.
Not to end the podcast like that, but yeah, it was just really heavy. No, it was just really heavy, though. It was heavy, man. I was like, fuck.
It is, but it's that. Look, I kind of discovered something when I was doing research on this. I don't think they really were paying attention to, but his favorite album was Ziggy Stardust, right? Mm. So the first track on Ziggy Stardust is 5 years.
Oh, yeah. 5-year plan.
Yeah. And so what I did was I listened to that soundtrack over and over again when I went to sleep, just to kind of, I don't know, mess with my dreams.
Damn.
And every time I woke up, 5 years was back on. And I remember thinking, well, yeah, he talked about the 5-year plan. Listen to this song, man. Guys, I think he was alerting people that, he might be doing something like this.
Did the band last 5 years?
I don't even think so, but
interesting.
Friendship, sure. Pat and Darby went to school together. So,
no, yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of this was going to be it. And, according to them, their best show was the final show.
Wow.
Which, maybe for a perfect film as well and for a perfect story, was their tightest show.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But is that the one where she rented it for Decline?
No.
Oh, they came.
That was not a tight show.
Yeah, that was tight. yeah, they came back and did that one big one. That was crazy.
He said he wanted to do one. He knew they all probably knew that was their final show, but not like Darby passing away.
Yeah.
It was just more of like, we're going to maybe move on to do different things. It's not the Germs anymore. And so, of course, they had their best show at the Starwood.
Yeah, that's right. Our first song I wrote was called 5-Year Plan, by the way. It's still our biggest song.
Dude, I love that song.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
it's called 5-Year Plan. It's crazy. I thought about that last night watching this movie.
Now there you go.
I'm like, his 5-year plan was
kind of crazy. I know. But I mean, it's also David Bowie weirdly talking about that, but as a character.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Damn, dude.
I know. Gives you a little.
It does.
Goosebumps.
You getting more tattoos? Is it hard to get tattoos when you're acting?
Well, I mean, I think now I used to be able to hide them, man, with a T-shirt, but Skiba, you bastard,
tree was
screwed
popping
me
out.
over.
and the True Romance one is sticking out too.
Yeah, but that one's a little easier to cover up.
Who did that one?
God,
True Romance is clean. That shit's clean.
That's it's my handwriting actually.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
You can take it off the napkin.
Yeah, kind of did. Wrote it on a napkin and then just really put it out there. Shoot, it doesn't exist anymore. It was, it's not Sunset Tattoo because that's by the whiskey.
Something out
It
here,
was one near the El Compadre actually.
Oh,
Sunset that just, I remember walked right in because I was living off of Sierra Bonita.
Mm-hmm.
So those
are your 2 band tattoos.
Yeah, got Darby's, got some fleur-de-lis French. I mean, obviously this one, but fleur-de-lis also on my back. I've got Satori, which kind of looks like Satan for some crazy reason.
What is Satori? What's that mean?
Satori's like, God, I'm going to butcher this, but like basically Zen, keeping your mind, body, and soul in the present.
Nice.
Not in the past or the future.
Which
is almost impossible to do, but it's a centering.
Yeah, you're working on it.
I mean, you will work on it for the rest of your life. And then my dad's, this says Want to Go to London. So my dad's
that's cool.
First album was called Want to Go to London.
Oh, sick.
And it was in that font and everything. So I did that
That's
as a tribute to him
dude.
too. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. I think we covered a lot today, man.
We did.
I appreciate you, man.
Of course, man.
It's so many things. I love the team people, good guys versus bad guys. Like it was you, Eminem. They were talking about Justin Bieber. No, Justin.
Or was it Timberlake? It was probably Timberlake.
Ja Rule.
Ja Rule.
So you guys were all the bad guys?
Us 4. That's it.
It's kind of sick.
We're the only bad guys?
Well, it's good. It's good versus bad guys.
Yes, that's right. Oh man, I was always thrown into that.
Did you meet Eminem back then or no?
I've never met Eminem.
Yeah, I met him on the Warped Tour. It's interesting.
I have met Justin.
Oh yeah.
I have never, and I might have met Ja Rule, but back then it would have been like literally, hey.
I know.
What's up?
Are you a hip hop fan?
I am a little, but for me, it's Tribe Called Quest.
Yes, dude.
Of course.
The Tribe Called Quest right there. Yes.
Do you really? Oh
yes.
Go. That's sweet.
Yes, dude. Love Tribe.
Obviously Beasties and fucking some Kumo D.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Kumo D, Beasties, Tribe.
Yes, Tribe for sure.
Nobody
Q-Tip for
Kumo,
sure.
Q-Tip's
and even solo shit too.
Incredible, vibrant thing, all that stuff. Dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Renaissance Man, all that shit.
I mean, now you got me.
You said Kumo D, bro.
Yeah, now you got me digging.
You said the Kings and Kumo D first time on this pod, which is great.
Yep, that's right.
But so hip hop.
I should do that as 1 and 2.
Sure.
2 and 1.
Do you like Eminem too?
I like Eminem.
Yeah.
It's hard not to.
So Beasties.
He's just way too talented. Obviously Tupac.
West Coast.
God, what else will you do now?
Tribe, Tupac.
Tribe is
Beasties
was the one. I mean, Eric B.
How about De La Soul?
Yes. De La Soul for sure.
Yes, Eric B. and Rakim's the best, dude. Rakim.
Yeah.
What about new hip hop? You check out new hip hop at all or no?
That was what I was trying to think of.
Like LA shit?
Like, Kendrick's great. He's phenomenal.
Best.
I mean,
you probably like Snoop and Dre, West Coast shit.
Of course.
Up, NWA.
Yeah, I did a little bit. Cube.
Yeah, Cube.
Never really listened to T that much.
Ice-T, yeah.
I'm trying to. Well, when I was in high school, yeah, he is. When I was in high school, man, because you got hit up. I was in LA in high school, so you got. Oh man, who else was going on? Well, I mean, it's Diggable Planets, but that's different.
Oh yeah,
but like Arrested Development,
Cypress Hill,
and then you had Onyx.
That's East Coast. Yeah,
was that East Coast? Okay, because I didn't even know Wu-Tang. Obviously, I should have probably said that.
Nas, Biggie,
Nas and Biggie,
Gangstar.
I got that. I
KRS-One?
got that on vinyl.
You
KRS-One, yeah, man. KRS-One, yeah, that's true.
You brought Gangstar vinyl. That's cool.
I do, yeah.
Damn. So you listen to everything.
But now I do. The irony going back to Nashville is the one thing I didn't listen to was country.
Yeah.
Now I have to because it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, dude.
But now it's everywhere.
I know.
It's not just you know.
Jelly Roll's killing it. Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll's killing
it. He was a rapper before.
I went to a random show of his.
You did?
It was a secret. Friend of mine's bar.
It was cool. Recently?
He did. Yeah.
Damn.
In the last year.
He's killing it, bro.
It was great. But I didn't know him. I didn't know what was going on. But it's a trip to see that Hardy. Like, it's a style that's not even really country. It's like, what are we?
I know.
Good for you. Like, what are we also doing? But I like seeing people experiment, and if people are liking it, it's great.
Did you ever see Tom Hardy rap?
No.
There's videos coming up right now of him rapping. He loves hip hop. I saw him in the sneaker show buying all these sneakers. He's a sneakerhead, and he rhymes, and he had a freestyle. I was like, bro,
what did you think?
It was. It's cool for British shit. It was interesting, dude.
It's cool for the Brits.
But he loves hip hop. He knows it all, dude. It was really interesting.
Well, we also had the.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Yeah,
Tom Hardy rapping, dude.
Oh my god, I just forgot his name.
Another actor that raps.
No, hip hop. Went into country. Tattoos.
Post Malone?
Thank you. I was like, how can I forget Post Malone?
Post Malone, yeah.
Post Malone, because remember, he went a little viral. Wasn't he doing an acoustic, like him on the guitar?
Yeah.
Doing Kurt Cobain, doing Nirvana?
Killing it.
And I remember that was a few years ago.
Yeah, but he also did a set during the pandemic.
People were like, whoa, wow.
He did a set, I think they did Nirvana songs, or what the fuck was it? During the pandemic with Travis. They did a studio.
Oh, maybe that was what I was talking about, yeah.
They did the whole set.
Okay.
I forgot what it was, yeah.
Something, yeah, and then we were like, okay, you see the talent beyond.
He's a real music head, dude. He's beyond just hip hop. That's what I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're an actor and you're a musician. It's cool.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Got it. Look, it's the best of both worlds, right?
I know.
But you went from one crazy industry to another. It's like,
I know.
That's also, guess I'm
But you've made it work. You made it work for your whole life, which is pretty incredible, dude.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Dude, thanks for having me, man. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
I know this is awesome. This is your life.
7 years down the road.
No, I know. No, I appreciate everything you put out in the world and all your work. And
thanks, brother.
It's cool watching all your stuff the past couple of days. And
I appreciate you too, man.
Yeah, we still out here grinding, looking young, got a good hairline. This guy's fucking chilling, bro.
Man, I'm trying. No, I haven't done anything.
He's all natty.
I haven't done anything.
Yeah, he's all natural.
It's all about the cigarettes.
No. You can tell you're all natural. You ain't doing no Hollywood shit.
No, I can't do that. No.
You're natural. You never got caught up. You never got caught up in any of that shit, really, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, I have not. Don't plan on it.
You don't seem like a guy that's like got really fazed by all this shit. You stay very humble. Just you know?
I try.
Maybe you partied here then once in a while, but you don't seem like a person that got.
No,
didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
Right. No, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
And once again, going back to that, those punk rock backgrounds,
exactly,
family
dude.
Of trying to be like, all right, don't drink it, enjoy it,
100%, dude.
But stay real.
That's what keeps us grounded, I think, too. Where we come from, how we grew up, the music, the family, the scene, all that shit, man. It's beautiful, man.
Absolutely.
We're very lucky to be part of that.
Yes, we are. So
I'm
excited for your tour.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I'm coming to Nashville.
Are you? Wait.
Yeah, I'm sure they have the dates. They're playing Nashville for sure.
Oh, sweet. I better be there.
We haven't played there in years, dude. There's like a punk scene there.
There is a bit.
There's a scene of something there.
It's starting though. That's why I was even this whole country stuff. I was like, wait, man, I don't know, man. There's a movement.
There's like a punk scene there for sure. Yeah. It's Nashville, dude.
I've seen Skiba's come through a couple times with Trio.
Oh, that's what he's playing like legit venues out there and shit. Yeah. Shout out to Matt Skeever, man. So cool when he came and bust out the trio tat. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Well, as I can't hide it now.
Dude, Skeever tattooed me in that living room.
Did you really?
He tattooed Skeever on me years ago, dude. Yeah, a long time ago. I think I tattooed him too, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Shout out to Skeeves. Trio still killing it. He killed it in Blink-182. I was so proud of him. That was such an incredible moment.
Me too.
I remember the day he met with Travis and them at Crossroads, and he texted me. He's like, yo, guess what just happened? He called me, told me. They asked him to do it. I said, do that shit. I went to the first show at Muse Inc. It was incredible.
Okay, so you went to that one. What's the second show at the Whiskey? No, the Roxy?
Yeah.
Because I went to that one.
I went to the Roxy one. I think I was there too, yeah. But the first I was on stage, the whole crowd was chanting his name, bro. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. The whole crowd was chanting Ski, but it was sick, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
What a perfect.
He deserves it.
That was a perfect fit, man.
It was a perfect fit.
I think it was a perfect fit.
I love that first album.
Yeah, and those
first
records,
album with them. Yeah,
and those records charted. Those records did really well, and
very well. Yeah.
Really stoked for him, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here, bro. We did it, bro.
We did it. I love it.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Bye. Peace. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art Pico-Way laser technology. Cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.